you son of a bitch. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Mike, and he's a Schlombiggy. Hello, T-Roy.
Howdy, sir. How are you?
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Look at this. We are live in Detroit.
Hey now.
Franklin.
In Franklin, yeah. Well, come
Near
on, give us
Detroit.
some credit. A little bit of credit eases.
Well, if we fucking make mistakes, then
Welcome to
people
the
won't-
313. Come on, man. No? You're not going to give us that? No?
Nothing. We're in Franklin.
What a bummer that sounds like. We're live in Franklin. Welcome to Troy's Poker Studio, everybody.
Hey-o. That's my spot.
This has been Troy's poker spot for the last few months. God, it feels good to be in Detroit. I'll be honest with you, man. I've missed this place.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm in town for a couple weeks. I know people are, in town for a couple weeks. What's going on? Yeah, it's a process.
It's been what, 4, 5, 6 weeks, something like that? It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a little longer than that even.
Oh.
But,
4 or 5 weeks.
I don't know. I lost track all the time. COVID.
yeah,
you know.
dude, it's been, I know, it's kind of the cliche, oh, fuck, 2020 again, strikes again. It happens all year, every year. Shit happens, but it has been kind of a crazy year.
Yeah.
You know what? We did some shows when I was in Arizona. I don't know about you guys, but I found that really hard to do. Not being in the same room with people.
Yeah, there was this. It was odd. It was difficult.
Yeah, the warden right outside the room, sitting there all liberal, just fucking, like, nothing about it is comfortable. No, I'm just fucking around. But it's hard to, it was hard to do. It's hard to get comfortable being out of the room with everybody. I know, like, welcome to the broadcast world. Everyone's dealing with that, but it was hard. I didn't find it, there's something about being in a room and throwing the ball around that is just, you just don't replicate.
Yep, it's definitely easier.
In a Zoom call. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like that in general. Like, oh, doctor with the Zoom call, or kids are flunking out of school left and right. Kids are just not doing well. I've seen enough kids lately, and they are not doing well with this whole Zoom thing. And it's like, I get it. I'm with them. But
I couldn't do that. When they talked about, like, even back in the day, like, I was always, like, when I left, a few years after I left, Specs started doing, like, oh, it's even better now because you go in 2 days, but in 3 days are, remote learning. And I'm like, I don't do well with that stuff. I need the person in front of me and be able to ask them questions and, like, explain things. That would have been, I would have hated paying that price. And if I pay that, Specs isn't cheap for the most part. And I would not have wanted to pay $10,000 to have 3 days where I'm not even in with an instructor telling me what I'm doing. Like,
yeah, and if you're just a box on a screen, like, that's, I was seeing it with Marshall and around Reed and Madison, my niece and nephews, seeing how they are with that stuff. Reed's just started in first grade. I went out to dinner one night with Ryan Fiorini. He was in San Francisco, and I was out there, and we grabbed dinner, and he's got a kid that's like 5 years old or something, and son, and, his dad's a doctor, his mom's a fucking surgeon, you know what I mean? Like, this is not a dumb kid.
Yeah.
And it's like, 1 minute he's sitting at the computer, the next he's fucking dressing up as Spider-Man in the corner. Like, kids
Too many
just don't
distractions.
Get Reed's like that. Reed's just like,
well, then there's
good
the
for
older
day, and
kids
just
that
walk away, and he's off in the corner. So basically, it means the parents are going to school. Like, either you sit there and are paying attention to everything being done, or you have no idea. And then when they go, the teacher goes, 15-minute break to a kid, the kid just walks away. He's just off, and then mom's like, so what's going on? We're on a break. Like, for how long? I don't know. Like, they don't know shit. They didn't write it down in their memo, like 15-minute breaks, hard out at 12:15.
Recess.
Like, they're just like, I don't know. They said we're done for 40 minutes, and they're just,
Right.
So now you got all these parents paying attention to what they're doing. It's like it's a nightmare.
Well, the older kids just learn how to really jump out of it because they just find ways of, like, screenshotting, like, a picture of faking a picture
South
of them
Park.
in there or whatever.
South
right.
Park
Just
did
kind of
that.
like,
It's fucking great, man. Cartman just put a picture of himself sitting there like he's paying attention in class.
So
Did the freeze.
Your computer's cutting out again. Yeah.
I have to say, man, and I know you're going to hate me for this, and maybe I just don't like the show. I was
show?
No, well, but I was excited. I was even excited for South Park to do a pandemic special.
Yeah.
And I just read people killed it and this and that, and to be honest, I just didn't really find it that funny. It was okay.
I'm with you.
It was
I
overhyped.
watched it. I thought it was all right.
I thought it was awesome
I
if
had
you-
friends that went, "Oh my god, next level!"
it. They really attacked COVID.
Their Scientology episode was next level. Their Mormon shit has been next level. Their Catholic church takedowns have been next level.
I mean, it was
But
badass.
the pandemic was,
If you saw how they did it, it was badass. I don't know if you saw the little video of they literally sent out to all their employees like big ass screens and a micro. I mean, they sent all their workers did that from their apartment or
Remote,
home or whatever
really?
and stuff. So it was that was actually really cool. If you look up online, you can see them kind of show how they did this whole show with no one leaving their own houses.
Yeah.
But I just didn't think it was that funny.
Yeah,
I thought it was
mean,
okay.
Some of it was good. They've changed their strategy over the years of like doing season long arcs, plot arcs instead of like just doing random episodes. This one doesn't lead into the next one. And if you're into that, cool. If you're not, if you don't like an arc, plot line, then it's not going to do much for you. And then you got to put up with a season of it. So I don't know if they're doing a whole pandemic. My guess is yes.
Yeah, I'm
that
sure.
the
I'm
whole
sure that it
season,
will.
whatever they do.
Well, they did that one obviously as a special. They rushed, probably not rush it, but I mean they wanted to, very specifically in the summer do a special or whatever. But and I'm sure their next season, will all be about it on some level.
How could it not?
But
I mean, it's just too prevalent. It's like, how do you do anything without it being some sort of election or politics-based something? It's so hardwired into everything we're doing right now.
Yeah.
it was badass having Denver Broncos putting the whole town of South Park in their stadium. Did you see that?
Oh, they did?
The entire town of South Park was
That's
the
awesome.
cardboard, cardboard people. in
Like
the stadium.
all 200 and some characters or whatever.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah. I wanted to be one of those because I was watching.
I paid. I
Do
paid
you
for
still
one.
have one? Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you?
I'm at the Lions game supposedly
Are you?
somewhere.
Do they send you a picture of it or
No, they do say I will be able to get it after the season's over.
Well, why would you want you?
Because I do, because that's the only reason I got the thing. I thought it'd be cool later on to have this thing and be
Yeah.
like, this is from this year when the Lions didn't have people in the stands. But I'm there.
Are you're there for all
I
8
paid for the
games or whatever?
whole. I paid for season tickets.
Yeah.
So
What did that cost you? $100?
$150.
150. See, I was watching, I was out west, so I was watching a lot of Giants games. And when they first started, it was like there was 4 people in the stands, and it was like this new thing. No one was, I don't know who the first team was or if they all did it together, but I just happened to be catching more Giants games that were on, obviously, locally. And I was like, oh man, I want to be in the stands so bad. I want to be in there, and it was like $100. And then they would, at the end of the season, they would send you your cutout, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they would also take a picture of you in your section, in your
Oh,
seat.
that's bullshit. I wish I
and
got
send
that.
you that. And it was only $100, and that got you like 40 games, 30
Way more
games or whatever.
for baseball. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was, what did they do? A shortened 60-game season?
Yeah.
And so there would have been 30 home games. And so, yeah.
I
By
did
the end
go-
of it, I don't know how the Tigers did or the Lions are doing, but the Giants, it was like a full house almost by the end of it.
The Lions is pretty bad. I will say this. I did do this. I went and watched a Tiger game from above the Elwood. There's
Oh,
that parking,
did you? Yeah,
parking
yeah, yeah.
garage, and you can go, and it's not bad. I mean,
Do they block it off? You know how
No,
if you're
you
on
can
the
see
no
it.
the
Oh.
street, between the church and Tiger Stadium, you can
Yeah.
walk by and you
No,
can
I think you could
see
see.
into the field a little bit.
You know what?
They block that in San Francisco. Right, remember you've been there. That
Yeah.
stadium, right on right on the bay. You can hit the ball into the water if you bounced it
Right.
a bunch, and so that grounds of walking there is like open archways, and so fans would pile in there, especially when they were
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
and so that you'd have a shitload of fans. I think they did that at Wrigley a little bit, where you could see in. There's some certain spots in Wrigley you can see the field. But they literally tarped that off.
Oh, really?
Like trying to discourage fans from
Yeah,
showing
so
up.
maybe they
And I
did.
thought of the Tigers because of that one by.
Yeah.
I think it's between the church
don't
I
and
don't
the
think
think
they
they ever
did,
have
though.
though. I've never seen it blocked off.
Well, no, but he's just saying because of this year with COVID.
Yeah, because of
not
COVID,
wanting-
trying not to encourage people to come out
come
and do
hang
that.
out there.
But
Yeah.
congregate,
the day I went, man, like I said, there's that parking garage. Unfortunately, if you could go into the DAC, it's like a perfect view, but you got to be a member, But I just
But
went
you live in what county do you live in?
Oakland.
So isn't it free admission in the DIA?
No,
with
I don't think.
No,
Yeah.
it's the DAC, not the DAC.
Oh,
Detroit
yeah.
Athletic Club, not the, not the art museum.
I was thinking of the art museum. I'm like, you can just go for free.
You got a great look over there.
Sorry.
From the museum.
Hey, I've been away a while.
But honestly, I mean, it was kind of cool because I could see in and you could hear. It was weird too because they would batting ninth or whatever,
Yeah.
and they would do the announcements. But you could hear like the crack of the bat all the way over there. And there was
I bet.
nobody there. It was me.
Yeah.
I went with my parents, and there was 0 people in the parking garage, and we're just sitting there, looking in.
Yeah.
Pull up a chair, crack a beer.
I should have
peanuts.
done. I needed to go another
Cracker
time where I
Jacks.
did bring a beer. I was with my parents, so I didn't. But
I think that'd be fun
You
for
still
just.
don't drink in front of your parents?
I would actually.
Oh no.
Jeez.
I actually had a situation this year. We did our normal.
Oh, did you get shit faced in front of your
Well,
parents?
we did our
here?
normal Mackinac trip, and even though the bridge walk was not happening with COVID, we didn't want to totally discount the trip, and we're camping anyway, and we figured it was fine. And so we did Friday. We did me and Lauren and Mark and I, Mongoloid, Aaron Rodgers did the island, and we did our golf, but we didn't go into bars. We literally just did the golf and went back in the end. So Saturdays, normally we'd be on the island Saturday, but we didn't drink as much because we didn't stay out, and none of us were hungover. And my parents were coming, but they weren't going to get there at about 5, and I just didn't think about it. It was a real nice morning, and I thought, I'm going to walk over by the bridge, have a beer or two. I got
What
back-
time is this?
Oh, like 10 in the morning. And,
Sure. Yeah.
But no, I actually said to myself,
Little day drinking for eases?
I said, I'm not that hungover. It's a beautiful sunrise. We can where I camp. They have this awesome view of the bridge. I said to myself, I'm gonna have 2 natter days, and I was gonna call it. I was not gonna say to my sister and Mark, like, let's get going.
Do you know how many alcoholics say that to themselves? I'm gonna have 2 beers and shut it down.
No,
It's
no,
gonna
but
be
I
a
really,
nice day.
but I wasn't gonna go to Lauren and Mark and kind of be like, hey guys, let's start. We're not doing anything today because I knew my parents were coming over, and Lauren and Mark aren't really. They're not like me crazy.
Yeah.
But then I got back and they were making some breakfast, and all of a sudden Lauren cracked a drink. I'm like, oh well.
Girl?
That's your license. That's
Ding, ding.
to people on the outside. If you're just looking like when you're an alcoholic or a fucking raging, we'll just call you a drunk.
Right.
When
I'm
you're
alive.
in that situation, you're just eyeballing anyone in the vicinity. Like, who else is a fucking shithead like me?
Green light.
And it's like, oh, there it goes. We're off and running now.
But if you
Troy
also-
cracked a beer, I guess that's game on.
But if you know me too, though, like if you know my sister, she's just much more responsible than me. She's not one that you.
Oh, that goes without saying.
No, but
We know. It's way hotter than you and much more responsible.
And so my sister started it, and then pretty soon, man, we were, and we weren't getting crazy, but pretty soon it was one after another.
Hell
then we
yeah.
walked to the camp store and got some more.
Now you're singing Pat Green, The Strangers.
And now I start thinking like, oh, girl, mom and them are going to be here at like 4.
Yeah, but once you get a few beers, you don't even care. It's like, it's about time.
Right.
Fuck them.
In the end, I mean, luckily I didn't get like in a sense like crazy where I'm like literally like falling down or anything, but I was definitely as drunk as I have ever been in front of my mom and dad. And at one point we
Thought you were going to stop it as I've ever been. I was like, ooh.
Whoa, damn. Ooh, get yourself.
Jesus.
well, then
We've seen some horrible displays by you.
well, I will say one thing that did lead to, and this isn't like personally actually embarrassing, but it's only like
be
happened
the judge
because
of that.
no, I mean it's not actually embarrassing to admit that you loved your grandpa, but like we're sitting there around like the little bit, and now I'm having these drinks, I'm feeling good, and my mom's there, and I'm starting to like feel like I want my mom. My sister told me like at one point I was like within 5 minutes like, you having fun, mom? You having fun? You having fun? And we started talking about my grandpa. And I started
Oh, no, did you
full
well up?
on bawling.
Oh,
To the point where I went over to my mom and hugged her like, I just loved grandpa so much. And I did.
Your
but
poor,
like,
poor Fran. Troy, we've all been there where, as long as the group is getting...
You're on
an
pace
equal
with
course.
everybody, yeah.
Yeah, whether you're 2 beers in or 12 beers in, as long as the group is on pace together, you're in a good place. When you show up to a party that's been going, tailgate sessions, I want to get there closer to kickoff, and the other people have been there since 9 a.m.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, it's not good.
They're a whole different level.
Like that being at that next level, like, can you imagine what Fran's like? Oh God, my adult fucking kid is sloppily
Actually,
sobbing about his dead grandfather.
Actually, because we don't talk about that stuff that much, I think that she probably let that go. She probably liked it to some extent. Now, I mean, obviously, she could tell. I was feeling pretty good. But I think she probably enjoyed.
She's better off
that a
tying one
little
on
bit.
with you at that point. Just going, fuck it,
Yeah,
I'm going to
let's
join
go.
his level.
I haven't drank in 10 years or whatever, but
he's
why
not coming back down to my level. I might as well
Start
get to his
shotgunning.
level.
We got to catch up.
I do know it, and like I said, luckily I never got to a point that was, you know what I mean? Like I said, I wasn't falling on myself or anything, but I do remember we set up a bonfire out on the little lake kind of beach thing they had there, and there was finally a point at like 10 o'clock where my mom was like, Eric, you don't need another drink or something. And
You got
You
cut
should have
off.
said, you know what we don't need at this party? Someone telling us we don't need another drink.
Why don't you go to bed, Mom?
That person sucks even more than, well, I think you've had enough for the night. The person that tells you you've had enough for the night needs to fucking leave before
wow,
you do.
I think in this case she was. I think she's
Well,
all
obviously
right.
she was right, but no one wants to hear that. in that
Right,
moment.
yeah.
You're 12 hours in. Yeah, probably.
Well, she doesn't
pretty
know
good
that,
spin.
right? I know.
No, we'll decide when we black out and end this party. You do not get to decide that, Mom.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, there was that.
There was that. Was there anything else, E? Is there anything else you did?
It was quite a summer for me.
Yeah.
Dealing with my heartbreak for one through most of it, which
Yeah.
was really,
How's that going? Are we over that? Are we on to
oh
anyone
God, no,
else? Or-
agonizingly painful.
See, here's the hardest part of breakups. Like, if you don't find a way to move on, you're not going to move on.
Right,
Like, either fuck that person, they're dead to me.
right.
Not the ideal way to go, but that's a route to go.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you could try to linger and hang on. That's, I don't know if that's
Not
a great way to
healthy,
go.
generally
Or
not.
accept it and move on. I would think you'd be
well,
at an acceptance point.
Here's the problem.
The best way to get over someone is to get under somebody else.
I hear that.
There's
I don't
a
know.
lot of truth in jest, though.
There is.
You know?
No, I agree with that. I understand that. I think the problem is like and whether I'm just trying to, I stopped trying to, like, when you're saying getting over, I'm over her in the sense that I have no desire. There's some certain things that have kind of happened where I have no desire to get back as far as a relationship. So I'm not sitting here
so you're good.
pining over anything. But I've been trying to still be friends with her on some level, and
Why?
I don't, because she's a good person and she's had a really crappy life. A lot of people have left her in her life, and I really didn't. I was trying, like, I've been trying to be like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be another person that just, well, you're not useful to me now. Fucking kick rocks or whatever.
Oh, man.
Which has been hard. It's been hard, and so I don't know. I drive around. I don't know how to explain it. I'm finally at the point where I have more good days than bad, but I definitely had, have
So
days.
what does a bad day constitute of?
A
You,
bad
like,
day
sit
will-
there and cry, or
A bad day ends up being that I randomly drive by like a hotel we stay at or something, and I get fucking choked up in the car.
yeah.
I actually had the biggest cry I had recently was like 2 weeks ago. I went on a walk. The problem is, like, this was my first ever serious relationship. And
No,
like,
we know. We've
I'm very
established that.
sentimental about things. And so, like, this fall to me, like these days in my mind, I'm just someone who thinks of days. I know what days were. I know dates. Like, I literally know dates. I know, like, oh, I went up north October 12th through 15th or whatever, they whatever. And so I went on this walk in my parents' house neighborhood the other day, and it's like, last year at this time, I'm like, oh, I would have been on the phone. This is about the time she would have been on break. And I went on this little picnic table where I used to sit and talk to her. And I just started fucking crying, man. Like, I just started fucking crying.
Do you think she's doing that too?
No, I don't think so. But
Yeah.
I do think and from what I gather, she's
She having some
she's bummed.
regrets?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so, unfortunately. But I think she's happy that she
Don't
left.
know what you got till it's gone.
I
Yeah.
don't think that's been the case, but I don't know. It's been what it is. I mean, like I said, but I feel weird for a lot of listeners that
No,
follow
I
me
know.
on-
I know that feeling that I just had it coming back here, where you get off the plane, you land in Detroit, you walk into this house, and it's like, oh shit, everything that I've struggled with is right here in your face. That stain on the carpet was fucking there 8 months ago, or this, whatever is still here. Like, all your shit, I can understand walking by a bench. I don't know that I'd sit down and cry, but I can understand where you
cope
walk
in our
by
own
and be
way.
like, I remember being here and going through that.
I
and-
know.
and-
Well, I'm sure
so
some of it.
I do understand that.
I'm sure some of it. Look, I'm not someone who thinks like I don't. How people deal with things. I know this 50 years ago, obviously, it would have been like, shut the fuck up, pussy. You know what I mean?
It's
But
still like that now.
No, but I'm
You're
saying-
getting close to getting
I
that.
was
No.
biting my tongue.
Not where I was going with it. I'm saying, I'm sure that in reality, too, like you mentioned how everyone talks, this thing is happening with COVID. So my point is there's weird outside factors too, like the idea of COVID fatigue or, some of this shit. And I felt like I've dealt with it pretty okay. I don't think I've ever been at a point where I thought the world was going to end but my point is I do think there probably are some of these other factors. Like I haven't been able, at least in my mind, I would have flown to Vegas for a weekend at one point. If this had been normal life, I would have gone to Vegas.
You had plans to go to different events.
Right. And having said that, on the other hand, I felt terrible for some of the people that follow me on Facebook. I feel almost guilty feeling this sad about something because the reality is I've also had a very good summer. Like I got to do some things this summer. I've wanted to see my brother for a few years. There's been things I've done that I've been very blessed to be able to do. And so it's
I
weird
think we
feel of
all have
guilt.
those feelings, and I think everybody's had to deal with things in a different way, and all of a sudden you see family more, or you take nature less for granted. I know.
Whoa.
Where's that? That's Travis, right?
What did you...
Where is that?
What
coming from?
is happening?
Where the fuck's that coming from?
Okay.
What the hell was that?
Shaking off the rust here
Wow.
at Radio for One Studios.
That last 10 seconds was not us talking.
You know what I thought had happened? I honestly got it for a split second thought that Travis took audio from what I just said and was
Playing
trying
it back
to
in
play
your
it as
face.
a drop or something, like to make fun of me.
Super good.
Like
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
what I
that's something
thought.
Trav would do. Yeah, that's totally
I'm
what
just
Trav
telling
would
you,
do.
that's what I thought.
This is what you said.
There have been people here in the past that would have done that. Travis isn't one of them.
I know, but I don't know. It just
Cobwebs. Sorry.
But anyway, it
Yeah.
is what it is. I mean, but that's
And thank you, Trav, for being here. We should thank everybody for this. Believe it or not, this doesn't just magically all come together.
Yeah.
Thanks, Troy, for being here, and Easis and Trav. I know it hasn't been easy with me gone. The studio's basically been Troy's poker studio for a few months.
Missed the invite.
It's all online.
But I come in and it's like, oh shit, this stuff hasn't been dusted off in months and months, even when we were doing a few shows in Arizona. And so I've got, it's not like these people all don't have jobs and shit going on in their lives. I'm calling Ron, spend an hour trying to get the printer working again. And, like, shit, what did we do last time when all this stuff didn't work? And how do we get it going again? And so I appreciate, Trav, you being here. I think you're going to be coming by from time to time to make sure
Let's do it.
we're getting all that as we do our thing.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say,
Back to Lene.
No, I'm not talking about Lene necessarily, but I was going to say, so I did go, this is something that I can tell you. I had as fucking Eric as an Eric fucking thing happen. So I went up to, way up north there, Houghton, and whatnot.
Well,
for
yeah,
a few days.
we've got the key to the city there,
Exactly,
so, yeah,
right.
of
Well,
course
that's
I
one of those things I've always, as I said in my news report, if you recall that, I said that I wanted to come up there in the fall and see the colors. So it took me 5 years or 4 years to do it, but I found
Yeah. How was it? Was it everything
incredible.
you dreamed
Absolutely
of?
fucking incredible. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, when I see pictures of that,
So fucking-
it's like where I've been, it's just blue sky. You don't get the change of seasons. You don't get the weather, the gray skies. But there is something, I don't take it as much for granted. Even when you and I, or you pick me up at the airport, driving down the fucking Southfield Freeway, which is a shit fucking drive.
Yep.
But seeing the trees and the leaves, and
Right,
you're like,
right.
this really is something special in Michigan, whether you're in the Finger Lakes in New York or in northern Michigan. Like, there really is something cool about the Midwest fall day and the leaves and seeing that whole scene. It
favorite
really
fucking
is.
time. My
It is.
favorite
It
fucking
is
time.
very cool, and it's
Wish it lasted longer, to be honest with you. But whatever.
I could do fall and spring forever.
Yeah, just
you
go
could-
fall right into spring.
Yeah,
That'd be
fall
great.
and spring would be cool. Sprinkle in the summer here and there, and we're good. But yeah.
So here we go. So this is I don't know how to I don't I'll try to make it not as long. So I'm going to tell you the gist of it at the beginning, and I can tell you more details if you want after that.
Boy.
So
Hold on, can I guess?
Yeah.
Does this involve you losing a phone? Does this involve you with your
Colt,
dick out?
You're warmer with the
Wallet?
phone.
Phone? You
Wallet?
didn't shit on the floor somewhere you didn't
Warmer,
belong?
kinda.
Oh,
There's
no.
three things. What do you think? So you already
Phone,
said
wallet, keys?
Yeah, so it's one of the keys.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the keys. So here's the deal.
So I wasn't close with shitting on the floor?
No.
Okay, damn it.
So here's the deal. So I'm going up to Houghton, but it's a long drive, so I'm breaking it up. And I rented a car because my car is
How
not
long
a
is
car.
the drive?
I was going to Tequamanon. It's to Houghton. I think it's like 9 hours, but I was going to Tequamanon Falls.
12 hours?
No, 9 to from here to Houghton. I think
Is that
it's like 9.
like like going all the way up only
9
takes
or
9
10, I
hours?
think.
Okay. I was thinking it was closer to 12, but all right.
I think it's 9 or 10. But anyway, but I was going to Tequamanon to break it up because it's a long of a drive. Plus, I wanted to hike along the Tequamanon Falls with the lease change.
Can you spell that?
No.
Okay, just checking.
No one can spell Tequamanon Falls.
I wanted to bust his balls for that, but then I was like,
dude,
nah,
I just put like
I can't spell it either.
I don't even try anymore. I just put like THQ.
You say it so well that I was thinking you
Right.
might actually have that one down. I was
Yeah.
waiting for you to be like, yeah, you know what, motherfucker, I do.
Right. No, I wish, dude. I fucking wish. But anyway, so I get up, I drive, I leave like 6 in the morning, get up there, do my hike up from the lower to the upper falls, get a beer at their little brewery, blah, blah, blah. Everything's going good. I got a little bit in my backpack. I get back to my campsite. It's like 6:40, which at that time, the sun is setting at like 7:15. I'm like, okay, I'm sitting there, I'm a little sore from hiking, crack open a beer. I'm like, well, better get that grill going. Everything is in my car, by the way. I didn't take anything out of my car.
You're sleeping in
Everything,
the car.
every single thing is in the car.
Food's in the car.
Yep.
Beer's in the car.
Everything. I don't have anything outside of the car because I thought I'm going to come
Clothes
back.
you're wearing is all you've
It's
got.
all I have.
Okay.
And I go through my little knapsack. I'm like, the keys aren't in here. And I start looking like, are they in the ground or this and that? I'm like, these fucking car keys aren't in here. And it's there's like push start things, so you can't even and I'm like, I have no fucking clue what to do. And I'm just like, and my phone doesn't really work because the service isn't really that great there. And it's like, it's about to be dark. And so like, I don't even,
Are there other people around it?
Yeah, but it's like, the problem
Is
is,
the car locked?
yep.
So you had them when you left?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
I know
backtracking.
what happened, by the way. I can explain at some point, but I do know what happened now. But like, it was, dude, I will tell you, when you want to talk about crying, I have like all the things in my life I've done. I've had a lot of lost keys, a lot of this shit. I have never in my life been more anxious and more scared because it's like I'm not just like at a hotel where I can even like, okay, I can go to the room at least, or I'm not like in Traverse City camping where I can maybe get a car into the city. Commandant Falls is like an hour north of the bridge. There's this city Newberry that's like a half an hour from it, and this. But there's just nothing. I know, so even like with towing a car, I know like this is gonna be fucked, man. And I don't know where these keys are. I have nothing. So I started going back on the hike because I thought there was this one place where I sat on a bench because I had them in this like little camel pack, and it was zipped. But I'm like, how do they
Wait,
fall out of here?
the keys were in there?
Yes, they were, and so I checked. I even fucking checked. When I got to the fucking pub, it's a fucking 4.5 mile hike from my campsite to the pub. I get there, I get my beer, I check. I'm like, okay, my keys and wallet are here. I'm good to go. I got another beer, started hiking back, and I just like, I checked. I thought so. I'm like, I'm good. And dude, it's getting dark. And I don't know what to do because I don't know where they are. The park is closed, like in the sense that I can't call the front desk of the park where the ranger is or something. So it doesn't even matter. I can't call and be like, someone turned keys in.
Yeah.
So I start fucking hiking. And it's like when you hear those stories about like how someone just, you think they're morons, right? Like, what the fuck is this idiot doing in the woods at 10 o'clock at night?
That. Yeah.
But it's like they start innocently. That's the problem. Like, I start hiking going like, I think they're at this bench.
We found his car.
Yeah.
It was locked. No signs of foul play.
I didn't know how far, and all I had in my mind.
What is the play there, T? Like, I would have just busted a window out.
Well,
I would have busted a window out and just like garbage bagged it for the night. And then
here's the problem. If you don't have the keys, if you don't have the keys, you can't drive out of there anyway. So at least go back.
So were the keys were they in the car? Did you ever find them?
No.
Well,
couldn't have been because then he wouldn't have locked the car.
You want me to tell you kind of what happened in the end of the?
Well, yeah. I mean,
I don't care.
But
I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say, like,
okay.
So the point is, like, I just sat there at this moment. I felt like I didn't have a lot of like time to decide what to do. That's my problem because, like I said, it's sun setting. It's like it's about to set. And I thought in my mind, they're probably on the trail. Like, there's just not that many places they could be. Yeah. And for the most part, I can't call this Park Service, so it doesn't even matter if they're turned in. And I thought they were at this bench. I just was convinced they were at this bench. And I didn't know how far that bench was.
Why would you be convinced that?
Because it was the only place, I stood. I got off. It was the only time I took the camel pack off my back. I put it on the ground for a second and sat on this bench. And I just thought, they're probably there, I guess. And I started walking, dude. And that ended up being... so it was actually, when I said 4 miles, it's actually like 5, because it's like a mile from my campground to the lower falls, 4 from the lower to the upper. I ended up walking an extra 4.5 miles to this bench. And by the time I got to the bench, dude, it was pitch dark. And now I'm
not a lot of not a lot of unnatural light up there either. That's a different kind of dark.
How's your battery life on your phone?
Well, luckily, the only thing luckily is that because of the service was so bad, I didn't even really turn. I had it on airplane mode the whole time. I took pictures, but I'm not going to call it, so that at least the battery was okay. But dude, I'm telling you, I was walking back. It was pitch dark. I'm not saying there was anything close, but I fucking heard like a howl, like in the distance. And I am just like, this is how. And I just kept saying to myself, "You fucking moron! This is how this shit happens. You were stubborn. You should have turned around once you knew it was too late." But I just wanted to get to this fucking bench. And when I was walking back, dude, it was pitch fucking dark. I'm hearing like these animals in the background, and I've just got my fucking iPhone. And by the way, I hiked 10 miles before. So I'm on like 14, 15 miles of hiking right now. Oh. My body is sweaty, but it's like cold and warm, where you sweat, but really it's like, it's fucking freezing. It was, dude, I swear to God, I thought I was like fucking dead. I'm like, I'm going to die.
So were the keys at the bench?
I would have been so mad at you if you would have died on a fucking hike up north.
And so I get back to the car, and I don't know what to do. So I fucking called, the service, and they're like, well, we could tow it. I'm like, well, what am I going to tow it to? It's 10 o'clock at night, in Nowhereville. So they came out, and they got me in. But even getting in, the car had one of those alarm bullshit things. Right. So they had to like unplug the battery too, because it's here at the campground. It's like 10 o'clock at night. The car, beep, beep, beep.
Shut the fuck up.
And by the way, obviously they're not there. This isn't Detroit. So they're not there in 10 minutes. So I had to go like sit in the bathroom of like the campground, and I'm just sitting there shivering because my body is sweaty from sweat, but now it's cooling off because it's freezing out. And I just like was sitting in the bathroom, periodically going to like the heater, the air blower, and just like blowing it down my shirt.
Heater, the hand dryer.
Yeah, the hand
heater.
They're like an hour away from even getting me in the car. And then yes, once they get me in the car, which is nice, but I can't turn
your beer,
right? I couldn't get my food in my beer, but it's like nothing. I can't turn anything on.
Yeah.
And so anyway,
you don't have a spare key in there or anything.
The rental car only comes with two keys on a one thing.
Yep.
And then the next morning,
which I always thought was stupid. Why do they put two keys on one ring? You're gonna lose one. You're gonna lose them fucking both. What's the point?
I don't understand that.
It's amazing.
No, you can't. Not how it's set up.
No, you can't take them off. Like, I mean, I don't think
I tried. My dad's like, yeah, you can. I'm like, I don't think so.
I don't think you can. I think they're like locked together. At least the ones I can
don't understand it, because if I had two of those, I would have done what I normally do and put like one kind of underneath the car well, or something like I have a hide key, and shit like that. The wheel well, yeah. Whatever.
Where is it?
It's somewhere, but
stuck on the bottom of the car.
No,
so did you find the keys in the end?
So here's what happened. So then, by the way, there was a whole other thing too, where I have a rental car. So again, it's not my car. So I was on the phone for them in the morning for like an hour, because they're like, well, we might have. They were gonna like drive me down to. They were like a tow truck was gonna come pick me up, and they have to drive me down to Petoskey, because that was the nearest enterprise that they could deal with. So that was like a 2-hour drive. I thought I was going to be in this tow truck. We're 2 hours with this dude. He finally picks me up. Then he just starts driving the other way. I'm like, oh, I thought we were going to Petoskey. He's like, oh, they just got me on here to take you to Newberry Auto, which was like, that would have been terrible, because it would have been nothing for me. It would have helped me in no fucking way. And I'm talking to him, telling him the story. And finally, at the last second, I go, well, I guess I was at that pub. And he's like, well, why don't we call it? And my phone didn't work. My phone wasn't working. And he goes, well, I'll try. And he calls. And dude, the guy, he calls up. The pub opened up at 11. We call it like 11:05. And the guy's like, well, I have this one thing with 2 keys and a green thing with Mackinac Mill Creek on them. And I was just like in the car with this guy. Like, I go, fuck yes! Fuck yes!
To the pub!
Just start turning. I literally in the car with this dude, just yelling, fuck yes, and high-fiving him and shit.
Did you pay for the extra insurance?
No, but I have AAA, so I have towing coverage or whatever. But I will say,
boy, you've got to be their worst customer. E.
We lose money on this guy.
Has anyone used their policy claims more than fucking Easus with AAA?
And I will say, I only had cash on me. I never have cash on me, but because I'm going up north, I think it's good to have some. So luckily, I did have like $60 on me. I actually gave all of it to that dude, because I was like, dude, if he didn't make that call, I was in. Because even if I got to Newberry and thought about it, then there's no Ubers or cabs from Newberry to fucking Tequamanon pub.
You just hitchhike up there, man.
You
probably
could, but it would have been. It went from like it just was one of those weird moments where it went from literally the trip being I didn't even know what to do. I was about to pay, what, $500 and get a ride up to Marquette maybe, and then even then I'm going to have to get a new rental car and go through this ordeal, and the car's over there, and I don't know what they're going to do about it.
Yeah,
by the
what would
falls.
you do? Just like call them up and be like, yeah, the car's there if you want it.
Yeah, crazy. I need a new one
get
though
it.
now.
I mean,
Did you like make up a story like I was mugged? Somebody took my keys.
Yeah.
So here's obviously
probably be smarter. They probably.
I definitely know
Bear ate my keys up at the falls.
what ended up happening for sure is that because I checked, I thought I was being a good boy because I checked the first time when I got the beer. I'm like, everything's in here, but I got that second beer and I must have pulled
story
it
of
out.
your life,
I
that
pulled the
second
wallet
beer.
out.
the amount of good stories that have started with, I cracked that second beer.
And it all went downhill
and
from
after
there.
that, who knows?
And I will tell
All
you,
bets are off.
I will tell you, and I would not normally tell this second story, but it only seems funny to me because it compiled onto another one. But so that happens, right? And I'm just as thrilled as fucking shit. Like, holy fuck, this saved my whole vacation, blah, 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 all this shit. Get up, yada, yada. And I was meeting those two.
Isn't that funny? Like, I would have walked into that bar and got those keys like, motherfucker. But so mad at myself that I got to this level. Like, the fact that
Walk
he's
of
celebrating.
shame in
Yes,
there.
he's doing the dance.
Oh, it was basically like I
it's
got a new
made this
vacation,
year.
in my opinion. Like it was
Right.
like
Yeah,
almost.
I got
like
a venture out of it. I got
Right.
a cool venture out of
Well,
it.
exactly. I got to talk about.
I would
it.
have been fucking so mad that I
Well-
wasted my night, wasted my time, spent $60 tipping this asshole.
Well,
like,
you
When
know,
you actually
bit of
get them
that
back,
would've-
I don't know. There's got to be some elation involved in that.
Well, the other thing is, I'm
yeah.
so used to. You know what? I told that to Lene one time. I am so used to things going like this bad.
No, say it again. Say it how you.
Come on.
Come on. You're not going to bail on cataclysmic.
Come on.
I don't know. I don't.
Colostomy.
No, hold on. This is important.
You got it.
It's been a while, guys. We forgot how to do this.
I know.
No, E, come on. We're going to get this.
Catastrophically bad.
Okay.
I thought you were saying
I was
cataclysmic.
I know.
Yeah,
I
thought he
was
going
actually
cataclysmic.
impressed that he was going to pull that one out.
Were you planning
backed
on
into
catastrophic the whole
Yeah,
time?
that was what I was trying to
You were
say.
not trying to say cataclysmic?
No,
It was
no, I
catastrophic?
was trying to say
Okay.
catastrophically wrong.
Cataclysmic.
But I'm
Yeah,
so
cataclysmic
it is so
bad.
ingrained in me that
Catechism.
these things
You was
happen.
thinking of catechism.
It's so ingrained in me that these things happen. Although I will say, when I was hiking to find the keys, I am telling you, like, again, now that time, short of an emotional thing over a girl, that I've never cried that much over. I was bawling my eyes
Sobbed
out.
over the car.
See, how many times have you cried over the last year? I mean,
healthy to
honestly,
cry.
like,
I don't
it's
think any.
That's not a
of
good-
course
that's
you've
not a
gotta
good
say
side.
that.
It is.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, I've probably shed a few tears here or there. I guess maybe once, but
I lost
dude,
my
I would
stepdad.
say-
I cried at that.
okay, all right,
Yeah, that's fair.
God bless.
Well, I would say-
Jim,
I
sorry
lost-
for your loss.
Thank you. Lost my
this-
stepdad. Not like losing keys, but you know. Same,
Well, dude, in
same
this
thing.
setting though,
Yeah,
because
sure.
I just did not, dude. No set. If it had been like, dude, if the circumstances had been like, it was still light out. Like if it had been 3 PM, or if I'd been, like I said, if I'd been in Traverse City just at a hotel, those wouldn't have phased me. It was just this situation where there was a lot of like things that had like I was thinking I would have to get back and beg somebody at the campground, like beg another camper to be like, can you drive me somewhere? Or
What would you have paid for that or done for that?
a lot? I guess.
What would have been on the
$60
table?
is all I had, I guess.
I mean, if you were out of
Right.
cash, what
Yeah.
would you have done? If someone was like, "Nah, I could," but-
I don't know. I guess I'd get. I'm not gonna. If you're,
You gave your
I'm not
$60
giving
to the
some blowjob.
driver.
If you're talking about like
Hand job.
I'd offer to buy them fucking shit at
5
Comedy Store
minutes,
or something.
come or not.
No.
You got 5 minutes, dude. But
No,
that's it.
I have
No more.
you know what? I finally have credit cards and money,
Take you
so
to the
like I
Piggly
would
Wiggly.
fucking pay my way out of it via buying them fucking beer or something. I'm not.
Okay,
I'm be. Thank the
That's
Lord.
why I
I'm
asked the
beyond
question.
hand
It was on
jobs.
everyone's mind. I had to ask the question.
I'm beyond. Luckily, I'm beyond that. But here's the.
There was a day.
There was a day. So I'm only going to tell you another story, only because of this huge deal happened, and I got over it. Like I got over it. I got to my next destination that
Sounds
night.
like you cracked another beer.
And I was like,
got over it real quick.
Well, I got over it.
Try that with Lene.
I had a next. I had a great fucking place. I was camping right off Lake Superior. This beautiful fucking thing. I'm like, okay, man, you know what? I even learned a lesson. I felt like because like the day ended up being better because I had this whole other plan I was gonna do, and I actually liked it more. I took more of my time getting up there, and I'm like, you know what, dude, it all worked out. You're great. Next morning, I'm waiting for my friends because I was meeting some friends in Houghton. And they're working from home for a little bit, so I'm like, I gotta go on a drive, right? And I'm like, well, I'm gonna find some little town in the Keweenaw Peninsula. Go there. It was beautiful. Sun's rising, and this great little fucking setting. And I'm like, I'm gonna meditate. I was gonna meditate there, and I sit down. And
I forgot about meditation E.
Oh, I meditate all the time. I meditate almost every day.
I almost
do
forgot.
it legit now. Like I do it legit now. Like
Do you ohm? You ohm it, don't you?
I don't own it, but I mean, I sit there and legit like sit on the legs crossed, and I do it for 15 minutes now. and
Which
I just-
style do you sit?
Indian.
You do? Really?
Indian style. And
Brother,
Views
not
expressed on the show are not those of.
I said Indian style, and I
believe it's Native American style.
Okay, Native American
Crisscross
style.
applesauce.
No, we're not being politically correct.
Fine,
But we'll go Native American style.
I'll go Native American style, and I set my phone for 15 minutes, and I close my eyes, and I just breathe and whatnot. And so I do it pretty. I need to get.
Are you against oming it or?
No,
It's not to that level yet.
I do need to finally get into like getting an app where they have apps where they can they can start teaching you how to do it even better.
Something seems weird by
But-
using an app to do
I know.
meditation. I mean.
I know, but-
was there something wrong and flawed with the old Om way of doing things? I mean,
I don't know.
You need some guidance.
I'd like to see you.
Chakras.
I mean, what I think of is sitting Native American style, hands like this on the
Yeah,
fingertips.
I do that.
And then eyes
What?
closed.
Why?
And,
I just
and
put 'em on
oming
my-
it.
Oh,
And-
I
and
thought you meant did that.
Oh no, I kind of just put them on my legs. No.
But are you against doing the traditional, hands like that and then
Are there different
oming it?
styles?
The reason I don't do it personally, I guess, for one, I don't even know if that's real. I think that's just something we saw on TV. But the reason I would say for me, the reason is that I'm a person who I always am staring at my phone and I'm talking. Even when I'm by myself, I'm talking. I find I talk to myself or this or that.
weird.
So the idea that I can have 15 minutes where I literally just focus on breathing in and out and listening to the nature, and when I close my eyes, I do not. I do it eyes closed too for the whole time. I don't open my eyes. I just take it in or whatever.
Do you feel like it works? Has it
Yeah.
been helping you?
Fuck yeah, I think so.
Nature, I've gotten a better appreciation for nature since all the COVID things, because I've been obviously out west, whether it's in Arizona or California, and there's not much you can do. You can't go to a movie theater. You haven't in California. It's hilarious.
Shut down.
Like that shithole is just shut down. Stores.
Are
There's some
like
stores still
restaurants and
open.
stuff still open or no? Like, can you technically go inside?
Technically, you can, but the places. If you talk to management there, there was one guy that owns a Mexican joint there, and he was saying how we can technically have 25% capacity, but it costs more money to have a staff inside
Right.
to deal with this that I can't make up for it. So they've all just basically the streets are blocked off and they've got tables outside.
Yeah, well, at least their weather is okay,
The weather's
so-
always
Yeah.
80 and sunny.
That's
so,
where this place is going to have a hard time this year, obviously.
dude, yes, it is. Because when it's freezing, what do? The restrictions hopefully will be better. We've gotten a better handle
there. Well,
on
we'll
this
see when this
COVID
next
thing.
wave comes around to shut her back down.
Whatever. Until we see death rates going through the roof, I'm just not that concerned about it. I know some people are. I get it. Some people are compromised. My dad is one of them. I certainly was. Worse off a few months ago. That would have been catastrophic, cataclysmic. Had I gotten COVID, that would have been. That would not have been good for someone in my health condition. My dad's had several bouts with cancer and missing a kidney. So for someone like that, you don't want to bring COVID into his world. That wouldn't be good. But setting up and eating outside has been okay out there. But the point I was getting to is all I've been able to do is nature therapy, because it's like I'm not just going to sit in a fucking house all day and watch TV. So I've been doing a lot more walking. I played tennis a shitload. But everything that you can do, nature's the best thing. Like you can go out in the woods,
Fresh air and
you
sunshine,
you
man.
can
And
go
it is
hike
good for you, like
on the
legitimately.
coast. Yeah, and it's cool. I'll drive to some really cool places, some parks, and
Just sit there,
get up and
take it in.
And you really appreciate it more when you're like, wow, this red tree, this tree's been here for 1,000 years, and you can see how huge it is. And it's like, this is unbelievable, and going up and down the coast and stuff. It's been therapeutic in its own way to do that instead of like,
sure.
what would I have done before?
Which is
gone
like
to a movie theater, gone to a bar, gone to a friend's house with 100 people, and that kind of thing, which can't really do.
Which has been, I would say, like the vacation. So I've been, like I said, I've been lucky enough to do a few of these vacations. Seeing my brother, for example, being one of them.
Yeah, your pictures looked awesome, dude. From Montana.
It was incredible. Montana, what a fucking beautiful state. But
yeah.
But what was nice about it is like, I'm still like personally, we don't have to get too much into it, but I'm like not going to restaurants. I didn't go to bars. I didn't go to restaurants.
Yeah.
I rented a car, so I wasn't gonna fly and all this stuff. But like that was like a compromise. Like that's what's been weird to me. Take the politics out of it. Take these people specifically like going Whitmer's a bitch or whatever. Take that out of it.
Stretch and Gretchen.
You can all do these things though. Like the weird thing to me is like in Michigan, for example, for the most part, after like June, it hasn't been like closed. I understand businesses, like I understand the economic and that part of it. But some of these people bitching, I've just been shocked. Like, dude, you can go up north though, and you can go and camp in the state parks and have a beautiful time. Like, I'm not saying there's not reasons to be upset, but on the same hand, like. And it never got shut down to a point where I felt like it deserved some of the level. Again, unless you're a small business, those people.
Well, yeah, that's a big if, dude.
No, but I'm talking about I'm talking people, dude, motherfuckers on Facebook. To me, these motherfuckers, I've gone to more bars in a month than they've gone to in 2 years, and now all of a sudden they're like, "This is bullshit. I can't fucking blah." I'm like, dude, I flew to DC and New York twice before the COVID. I had plans to go to other places, people, and I've survived. I've been okay. I've
but you can't take away the amount of restaurants that are closed and gone forever.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking more of the social aspect of that.
I try to put myself in other people's shoes a little bit. You know that about me.
Yeah. What a strong suit.
But it's been hard. I get it because I was someone that was basically a hermit. I stayed in this house all the time, which was proved to be really healthy for me.
Right.
To just sit in my own filth for every single day. And so for someone like me, COVID's like blessing in disguise. Now you all can come to my world.
Right.
See how the other half lives. But it was stressful on me. Like I found that like I didn't realize how much I got out of the house even me. And for most people who are generally on the run all the time, schools being closed, real problem.
Yeah.
That's a real problem. And if for all the people that care so much about protecting everybody's health, you really don't give a shit about the amount of abuse that's going on, the amount of alcoholism, drug abuse, spousal abuse, like poor families that are. Hold on, Isis, shut up. Those people matter too, and those people are seriously hindered, and they're the ones that are going to get hit the hardest.
In my opinion,
No
though,
pun
some
intended.
of those people, like that wasn't a result of some of this. I think that it was just it became an excuse.
Well, no, but when you force them to not leave their houses,
that's my point. I think.
Well, not everyone can just hop in a car and drive 9 hours up north.
Yeah, but dude, you can drive an hour in Michigan. You can drive a half hour at different places, and you can be in a nice little state.
Yeah, Michigan, true. What's bothering you, E? Who are the people that are bothering you?
I'm not going to say who the people are. I don't have
Give us
you
names.
don't have to give exact names, but what are they saying that is so?
I think
I honestly, dude, I don't like this feeling like, oh my God, the administration hasn't done enough to protect blah 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 blah. Like I've never felt like I need fucking daddy politician, some slime ball in Washington to tell me how to be safe. Like, okay, yeah, I understand. I'm fully capable. I'm a grown ass man of understanding there's a global pandemic. But, masks, go whichever way you want on that one. But I don't need this local government to tell me how to, to be careful around older people with compromised immunities. Like, okay, that I had a compromised immunity. In my opinion, that's on me. That's not on the rest of the fucking world to cater to
unfortunately, I would say that
shit.
Unfortunately, though, for one, the problem is that obviously it can affect people that you're not trying to affect. By if you just say, well, it's just me, but then you're going to you decide to go to 10 different fucking bars.
But then I take myself out of the equation. I can't go then around my parents who are compromised, perhaps, or something.
I get that.
But I don't need to keep every kid out of a school.
I'm not saying that.
Knowing that and you can't just go, well, what if a teacher gets it? Or what if they bring it home to a grandmother? Well, keep grandma away during this.
Well, for one,
but there's other consequences to what's going on with all these kids not being in school. And you're talking about kids that are coming from well-adjusted households that are having serious struggles.
I'm not talking
serious. Yeah. And how does that play out in the future? I don't know. You don't know. We don't know what the long-term effect is. But I guarantee you, someone like Troy or me would have gamed that fucking system and found a way to not be on there. We would have been fucking off if we didn't have to be held responsible, be in class, accountable for whatever work. And the idea that teachers have just figured out, like, dude, do you know how big of a pain in the ass it is on a daily basis to get a podcast up and running and deal with all the fallout and when things break and a wire doesn't work and all of a sudden there's random audio playing in the background. You don't know why. Thank God Travis is sitting here, or that still would be playing in the background. You know what I mean? Like
playing in the background?
Now do it in a Zoom call with a classroom full of 7-year-olds, and they're all on their computers, and this one's muted, and that one's not, and this one walked away. Like, dude, that's a nightmare.
But what you're saying, you're assuming that I'm thinking that schools should be shut down. I don't think that necessarily anything should be shut down. I just think, my own personal observation was, there's grown adults should be able to though. Like when someone says, oh, my kid should be able to have a birthday party just like normal, and he should not have to. It's like,
Well, that's a little selfish.
You're
I
an
agree
adult.
with you
You're an
there.
adult. You should be able to say that life.
If you're going to give people free fucking choice,
No,
that's what
not
you're going to deal
But that's not my
with.
point, Troy.
So-
My point is,
But no one's going to make you go to that kid's birthday party. You should have the decision to go, you know what? Lisa, I'm not coming to your kid's birthday party. Here's why. We're in the middle of a global pandemic.
No.
I'm not bringing my family over to that. But if you want to have that party, knock yourself out.
That is not my point. My point is it's completely out of, if you took COVID out of this, grown adults should be able, like, I think that even if we were in last year, before we ever even knew about COVID-19, you should be able to tell a grown adult, hey, you can't go to a bar for a month. And they should be able to do that. Like, take away the
Why?
fact. Because I think that you should be, I think it says a lot about somebody that, like, literally someone like, oh, I was supposed to go on a trip. Well, then go next year. Like, you're an adult.
Well,
sometimes things in life happen.
Do you see that as a real problem? Like, I get it. Most of us.
I have seen that, people.
Troy I know you had tickets to Tool, Rage Against the Machine.
All kinds of shit.
You had all types of shit lined up throughout the year that you'd already purchased.
I see Troy's a rounded person. My point is, I think it's
I know,
Jesus.
but someone like Troy, it's like, okay, that shit happened. They'll reschedule at some point. Pearl Jam will tour again, whatever.
I think it's just, to me, opened my eyes to a lot of adults that are either weren't really very happy, and this just exploded that, or they just weren't well-rounded. They didn't have a well-rounded life. Like, I just think for someone like me, who literally flies to concerts sometimes once a month, I was able to just kind of go, okay, actually, you know what? This is kind of nice. I'll take a year, slow it down a little bit, reset.
I think you've got a lot of privileges that a lot of people don't have.
I'm
right?
not talking. No. I'm talking about people on my Facebook page that have privilege. Give me a break. They're okay. Their job didn't go away.
I'm not talking about everybody. I'm talking about the whole. It's easy for you to sit where you do with your, to have a little side gig, do your thing. You're okay. But it's different for people that have family and kids, dealing with the stress of having that around you all the time and forced on you, not being able to go out, like, people not going to work. Like, dude, I see it, like, talking to my brother about it, and he's in a healthy relationship with the warden, right? But like, G goes to work and he's gone for 10 hours. He comes home, he has a little bit of dinner, kisses the kid goodnight, and it's done.
Oh,
and it's like
he's going to work. No, I'm just kidding.
and now he's working from home, and so
Okay,
everything the kid does in this room, you tell a 5-year-old,
Yeah,
Daddy's
that's
at work
fair.
now, leave me alone. Like, no, the kid's coming, knocking on the door every 5 minutes to show you the new Lego thing he built.
Yeah, that's
like
fair.
That's a constant.
You
and
were
it's-
too.
Yeah.
Look, G, look what I did.
Look what I made. Look at my new Lego set. Look at me and Marshall did this one. And so there's a lot of elements like that are a problem that you don't necessarily have to
Right.
do.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
You're one of those people, of everyone I know, you're way more roll with it guy. But just your nature in general is, well, that got canceled. Okay, we'll do this thing. And you just kind of bump the wall and go over here and do it now over here.
True.
That's the kind of the way you are. So something like this is almost geared to you. It's like, well, we can't do this. What can we do?
Right.
And you'll mentally get creative. And be like, well, I could sniff markers all night tonight. Never done that in a while.
Right.
And you can get off sniffing markers all
That's
night.
true. I mean, that's fair.
So-
But I do think there are people, though I still think, okay, I guess I'm getting bogged down on maybe individuals, but I think there are
I
people,
wish I knew examples that you were talking about, like on Facebook.
I'd have to, it's over
see,
6 months, I guess. But.
I've seen a lot of the political shit, on
that
Facebook.
stuff, my God,
and
I'd stay out of
it's
that.
So much of
hilarious.
it's evolved. I mean, it's sort of taken that if that's your stance, you've gone so far that way that you use the
I've noticed
mask
that.
as a catapult for your side, and Whitler and
Well, that's like the
all
masses
that
tracking
stuff.
system as they're sitting there with their iPhone typing their whole life into Facebook, and they're like, "This is tracking us." I'm like, dude, they already got your number, my man. Like,
Yeah.
They know where you're going. They know where you vacation for the summer.
Well,
You just booked your flight. They know exactly where you're going.
You knew right away when all of a sudden, and I honestly, I gotta
turned a
say,
point. When did it turn a point?
I was surprised to see it happen with the pandemic. Like, there are certain events in our lifetime that happen that just kind of, you think, obviously 9/11 in our lifetime, and you just saw the whole country at once stop all the whatever bullshit you had going on in your world, whether it was work, relationships, political views, sports rivalries, like, it all stopped and put in perspective. Holy shit. and the whole country came together. Now, that fell apart rather quickly. You know, it's like all of a sudden we're divided politically on whether we should be at war or not. And 19 years later, here we are. But the pandemic, I figured, okay, it didn't discriminate against white people, black people. It's a pandemic. Now you can say, well, your privilege allows you to hide out in a bigger house and less people, and so it affects you to. Yeah, I got all that. But,
if I am sick of hearing disproportionately affected.
Yeah, I know. Because it's like we don't live in a vacuum where other circumstances don't matter. You know what I mean? Like if you have to, you know, it is what it is. So I know what you mean though, where it's like, okay, the virus isn't going, there's another black one. Let's get him. Look, there's a Mexican over there walking around. Let's get him.
Right.
It's not as simple as that. Yeah. But it took no time for the mask to become a political statement.
Fault, I think.
Well, some of it, yes.
I'm not saying that you should wear it or not. I'm not even saying that.
No.
But it is his fault that it became this thing.
I think that's unfair too. I think it's both sides' fault, like normal. Because once it gets politicized, it became a political statement of, you know, and I don't know about you guys, but there's a shaming factor. Like when I left California, the airport, I was telling you, T, I hadn't eaten, and I was like, well, I'll just get something at the airport. Good luck in California. Like, no, it's all shut down. There's nothing. There's a tiny little snack stand. You could buy some beef jerky. That's it. Fuck off. You can't get a direct flight from the Bay Area to Detroit, so I had to make a pit stop in Salt Lake City. In Utah.
Nice area.
Yeah, dude, I've never been there. You know, I just saw the mountains and the lake, you know, as I flew, and I was like, yeah, I bet is that salt water? Is that fresh water? I was like, Salt Lake City. Yeah, I bet it's salt water. I'm learning stuff. And so I flew in there, and I walk in, and it's bustling. Every fucking restaurant is open, and you know what? Human beings figured out not to be assholes. They're all wearing masks. They're all staying a few feet apart, but they weren't just shutting everything down over politics. It was like, okay, here's the reality of it, which is what pisses me off when you hear Joe Biden talk about this stuff like Trump's got no plan and we've got the plan. It's like, dude, your plan is no different. Your plan is for fucking testing, and then if you press him on it, he goes, social distancing and masks. It's like, hey, fuckface.
Look at the rest
We're all
of the
doing
world.
that.
Look at the rest of the world, by the way.
We're all doing that already. Where's the last time you went to a restaurant and nobody's social distancing? I haven't seen it. I mean, maybe that's going on here. Are people just going to restaurants without masks and no one's social distancing? I haven't seen the place where that's happening. I mean,
yeah, it's annoying.
Activist rallies, I suppose, but other than that,
it's
peaceful protest.
It's definitely annoying, obviously, because the funny thing is we talked a little bit on the phone at one point. It's like it's just you, but you're not allowed to be in the middle. Like that's so the thing is like,
you are.
No, but I mean,
you and I are.
No, you are, but I'm saying you're not in the sense of like, so for example, like
if you're not for us, you're against
the quote unquote mask, for example, like people.
And that's where I was trying to get around to was this idea that this all of a sudden was a dividing point. It was like, okay, I get it. If Trump is a dividing point versus Biden, totally understand that. You know, whatever thing it we see things that weren't typically politicized being politicized. But the mask thing, I was like, how that turned into a political thing right away, you know, and you see extreme people on the left going, yeah, Trump rally, no one wearing a fucking mask. People on the right pointing to Black Lives Matter rallies. Yep. A lot of people not wearing masks and screaming. Well,
and I will tell you, I want to tell everybody, by the way, just now that we're finally on this show that I don't just get the two people, because Facebook, I realize the algorithm now, after watching The Social Dilemma, I realize now the algorithm, you know, when I say anything, if I say one thing to the other people aren't seeing it.
Yeah.
So for these motherfuckers, I have never been a person who lived my life in fear. My Lord, I could have been dead 10 times over.
Oh, yeah.
And so the idea that because
everyone
I go to Meyer wearing a mask is like, stop living in fear, man.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Like,
yeah.
And I remember listening one time on 97.1, a dude calls up. He goes, I'm not living in the fear. He goes, I don't even like wearing seatbelts. And he goes, but then one time I got in a car crash and I thought maybe I should start wearing a seatbelt. Like, wow, okay.
Yeah. Hey, there's one time I got COVID, so I thought, I better start wearing a mask.
Like, fuck off. I'm the least fearful person. Like, as far as like,
but it's like, I think that's fair to say about all of us.
But I think it's like, there's nothing wrong to me with saying like, oh my God, I'm going to wear this when I go into Meijer. So fucking what?
Yeah. The president hasn't done a very good job of setting an example, I guess, for those that need an example and look to traditional leadership, to what we think of like Okay, well, I guess we all got to wear fucking seatbelts now, or I guess we can't smoke in bars anymore. You know, we all agree in the end. Yeah, it's probably better that we don't have a bunch of people just smoking in planes and bars and mall, like
and wearing
even
seatbelts and
smokers
things like
go,
that. That ultimately,
yeah, that was kind of fucked up. How we all just used to smoke in here in front of everybody that didn't want to smoke.
the back
coming
8
home with
rows of
their
a plane when you could smoke back there.
Yeah, dude, and then and some of those
restaurants,
planes,
dude, where there'd be sections where literally. This is the non-smoking. This is someone like they're like putting their cigarette.
It's asinine,
right?
But at the time, it's like, yes, government, stay out of my business, you know. But you go, okay, yeah, it was probably for the best that we don't have, you know. You think of, you know, Big Boy where he used to work. It was like smoking table, non-smoking,
literally
right
next to each
it,
other.
right next to
And
it,
it's like-
and then smoking on the other side.
It's like, oh well,
yeah, that's working, you know.
that smoke definitely is stopping right here on the line.
It knows.
So for Trump, you know, the thing you expect out of a leader or want out of a leader is, you know, if they're setting the standard and you fall off and you don't do it exactly by the book, and I look at it and go, every one of you is fucking up wearing masks. So if you think you're protected, you're full of shit. You're not. You have doctors, surgeons, nurses take courses on proper ways to wear masks, and just touching your like, you fucked it up. You fucked it up. So for me, I'm like,
but that's not actually what it's about.
I wear it to make everyone else happy. I don't like wearing it, but I fucking wear it, not because I think it's doing a damn bit of good for me personally.
But that's not what it's supposed to be. It's never.
But you're fucking it up. The way that surgeons wear it, the way
that's not what I'm saying, though. The whole point of the mask really.
I've got a bigger point, though. So for Trump, you go, if you just put your foot down and go, hey, it's really imperative that people out there, you say it with conviction, and this is for the betterment of everybody. Understanding that a lot of people are going to fuck it up, and some people are going to have it down over their nose and not do it right. But you just hope that the masses get on board and it doesn't turn into a political statement, you know, fuck the man and take your mask off. Like, that should never get to that point.
See the video of those people in Target
breathing in each other's
walking
faces.
around playing, I'm not going to take it. And they're just like waving them. And by the way, I said to myself, dude, I understand. If you want to look, there's actual science that you could point out that whether it does anything or whether it's even hurtful. But walking around Target, dude, with 8 of your buddies cranking, we're not going to take it, is not solving anything. Like, you're not helping.
Going viral.
But Trump knows. Like, he sees that he's reading the same. He's not going to, like, leadership behind him of like, you would think he would have access. You would know. He would have access to the best medical minds on planet Earth. And it's like, you would think that dude's not getting his news from the same place we are. That he's not going to the New York Times or Daily Mail or the Free Press. No, I know, E. That's the point. He's going to the Free Press.
Right.
And reading
Fox
a fucking
News is
article.
where he's going.
He's going to Fox News. He's going to fucking Patriot Prayer, whatever. He's getting his news from these places, and he sees the same reports that go, yeah, everyone's fucking up wearing a mask. It's doing nothing. It's basically for show. And he just, as someone who's a branding expert, and that's really what Trump is.
Right.
He's not a fucking builder expert guy that he wants you to believe. He's a branding guy. That's what he's been his whole fucking life. He can put his name on buildings. He's flashy. He talks off the cuff. And most people that support him understand that. They take the good with the bad. They just go, yeah,
I get it.
There's a lot of bluster. There's a lot of bullshit. He's done that forever. We get it. We get it. We see what it is. But to other people, it drives him fucking insane because he's going to go, well, some people are saying masks are good. Other people point to Fauci might be an idiot. And you know he's just rambling. But for people that go, oh, my God, there's got to be some stability, some level of stability at the top that just goes, hey, man, you know that Obama would get, you can hate Obama all you want, but Obama was a statue of pillar of community is what he was. He's a community organizer. He's a guy that's very well spoken. And I mean that on a scholarly level.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to, this is the way it is. This is the way it needs to be. And there would be no discussion about it. And that's where Trump falters, where he doesn't play that well. He doesn't do that right. And so where do you land on the mask debate is irrelevant. You see people on the left getting COVID at extreme rates, people on the right getting COVID at extreme rates. You see mask wearers getting COVID. You see anti-maskers getting COVID. And I think it would be that way no matter what.
I know.
It's an airborne virus. It's getting around, and Jesus could touch the fucking wall here. And, you know, I walked by it. I touched it. Did I get it? Do I, you know...
I still wish he would have. I mean, look, even with that, I wish he just. There was times this summer for sure where I was just like, I just wish he could at least, even if it was no mask, even for real, if he was like, I've read, like, come out with a fucking report, Trump. Like, why can't he just come out with a fucking link and at least say, this is where I got this? That's all I wish. I just wish he could have done that more.
You don't need much more than knowing what a super spreader event they had at the White House.
I know.
When it was for 3 days, it was 4 more people, 5 more people,
right.
6 people, 7 people, 8, 10, 13 people at one event, and you see them, and it sends, you know, if you're a Trump supporter, great, good for you. If you're a Biden supporter, good for you. I don't care either way. I don't hate you, whichever side you're on. I don't think anyone in this room, thank God, is like that. That hates their neighbor because they're a Biden guy or a Trump guy. But it sends a horrible message when you see people at that event shaking hands, smiling like nothing, like this is 2016.
Yep.
They're shaking hands, hugging, and then it's like, that asshole just got COVID. That bitch just got COVID. That dude just got COVID. And you're going, dude.
And that was preventable. Like, those are things that, dude, he's the president. He could have just done it out. Yeah.
It's probably more.
You have to lead by example at some point.
You do.
And, you know, exactly. No matter which side you stand on the mask thing, the reality is that, is it foolproof? No.
No.
But is wearing a mask better than not? Ultimately, yes. I mean, on some level, even
maybe.
fractionally.
I don't know that I believe that.
You can't.
Maybe.
Not. I mean, you can't. There's too much.
Then when you go to a hospital, man, from now on, just never want your surgeon to wear masks. Never want them to
No,
do any of that
I
stuff.
understand that they're trained and understand how to wear masks.
No. But that's not the point. It has nothing to do with training. That's what I was trying to tell you. It has nothing to do with training. Well, again, Troy's right. Whether it's not even. It might be fucking 50%. But it has nothing to do with training to wear it. It has nothing to do with protecting you from wearing it. It's if I have it, I don't know I have it. When I'm talking, these spit droplets, it at least just cuts my own spit
some of it, which is why we wear them.
Right.
I know,
what
but
said. So, I mean, at least,
I
mean, it doesn't matter how, but nobody can argue, Trump or anybody else. I mean, some people can. I don't know how, whatever, but that at least it helps in some way. I mean, is it foolproof? No. Is it perfect? No.
And for me personally,
is it, you know, and I'm not even a super masker. I mean, I wear it because I have to. And my stance is more respect for everybody else, and especially the people like the restaurants and the stuff like that. Well, you know what, asshole? You might not want to wear a mask. You might not give a shit. You might not believe it. But you know who doesn't have a choice is that fucking waitress that's coming to wait on you. And wait on everybody that comes through that table.
Yeah.
And you don't know if they have it. They don't. You know, it's respect for them and other people and everybody else that goes around.
But you don't wear a mask when you sit down at a table.
No, I understand.
You know what I mean?
Saying it's not foolproof. Okay, I mean you can try and shoot holes in it all
you
want.
No, I'm not shooting
just
holes
saying,
in it at all. I'm not. I'm not.
But if nobody ever wore a mask, you don't think it would be worse? Do you think that are we in a better position because people are wearing a mask?
Well, I don't know why they do it the way they do it. It always seemed funny to me when you'd see someone go, "Well, I go to the ball game, I take a bite, and then I put my mask back on." And it's like that's hilarious with an airborne virus. I don't know. Maybe that helps. You know, it seems funny. Like in California, they're trying to push through. You literally take a bite of your food and then put your mask back on to chew. And I'm like, really? That's where we're at? That seems crazy to me. Yeah. But, you know, what I notice is when you go to a restaurant, they've got a fucking mask on and a shield on. And they bring your food out differently. And they don't, you know, at the airport, they bag everything and they give everyone an individual bag. And it's like, you can see the level of commitment that they're going through. I'm not one of those people that freaks out if I see someone on the street without a mask on.
No,
neither do I. In fact, outside I don't at all. But
shame.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't even inside necessarily. I just think what Troy said. I think that this notion
you mean
that
my point.
Yeah, there you go.
I've missed that.
The thought that it's this, you know, I ain't wearing it, blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, it really is just a mild amount of inconvenience.
I know,
to just
and
show
it's
some
not
level
about
of
you.
Human
So
respect.
go fuck yourself.
Right,
That's
and it isn't about you.
Opinion.
That's the point. It's not even. In fact, I don't think it's all wearing. Like I said, I don't think wearing it protects the wearer almost at all. I think it's all about
Protects
just
everybody
hopefully
else.
It's helping. And
In
it's just
some level.
And if it's just a little, dude, what does it matter?
Well, why wouldn't it help you a little bit too? You would think by theory.
But I'm just saying, I don't even care. Like if you're helping, and that's where honestly, we talked about this back when we were doing the virtual ones, or not virtual, but the remote ones a little bit. That's where I mostly came across. And by the way, I know I lost listeners of this. Not lost them or whatever, but I have listeners of the show that don't like my shit anymore, don't interact with me anymore. And literally,
over what?
Over 3 or 4 posts throughout the summer that just kind of said, how about we just maybe do a little thing that helps out your neighbor. Like, how about we just prove everyone wrong that Americans aren't selfish assholes?
Well, I would
Become
think
a
people
political
would.
football. That's
No,
what it is.
listeners.
Yeah,
There's enough
yeah, yeah.
listeners that absolutely did. Those are the ones that call me fear. They'd say they would literally just keep commenting on my stuff, saying, "Stop living in fear. You're being an idiot. You're being a sheeple."
What's
Shut the
next?
Fuck up,
Right.
sheeple.
Well, it has gotten to be rather stressful time
Sure.
for people.
I would say so.
I've seen and read a lot. Seeing how people are treating each other is the most frustrating of all. Seeing people react to friends, family, neighbors that disagree with them politically,
Right.
it's troubling. It's going to be interesting. When I was planning on coming out here, I wanted to come out for a couple weeks at least, and just kind of get feet set, see the studio, see the house, see you guys, and continue working on stuff. But I was planning on coming here a couple weeks ago, and then it was like, well, shit, we're running up to this election. I might as well, be there for that, if anything,
Make
and
sure
so
you
that's
get that vote in.
well, yeah. I mean, it could have done it from wherever, but doing the show, I thought, okay, well, I'll be there for the week before the election. Why don't I come then and hang out during that, and then for the week after that, when the world falls apart.
Yeah, right. One way or the other.
One way or the other. I figure we'll
If you
get
had a gun
through
to your
it.
head right now, who do you think would win?
Probably Biden,
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
which scares me. Who do you think?
I don't know. Yeah, if I had a
Yeah.
gun to my head, if I had a gun to my head who I said was going to win, I would say Biden.
6 months ago, I would have said Trump, no
100%.
doubt.
You know what? I would have
Yeah,
said Trump.
there would have been doubt, but the hate for him is something we've never seen before. I mean,
Right.
we've seen it for 4 years, but
Which is, by the way, why, when I talk about the mask stuff, it's almost just why I wish he would have done it more. Not even maybe if as a person going, their masks are important, but more like I would rather him win. So I wish he would have helped himself out a little more
yeah.
throughout this summer.
But you know what?
I'm not.
You know what though? We said that all of 2016.
Not like
oh my
this.
God, this guy's
he
hurting
wasn't the
himself by
president
doing
then,
this.
though.
No, I know, but in the years since then, everybody always points to what he's doing to hurt himself. I agree with you.
I think
agree
this
with
time
you,
it's
so I'm not
different, though.
shitting on you.
No.
But this guy has proven he's going to do what he's going to do. He's going to stumble through it. And I wish there was a way people could see through some of the bluster and just go, okay, because what's disturbing is, you see people posting that are just, they're done with people. They're writing off friends,
I know.
family over
Oh, yeah.
political views, which is sad. I mean, I saw the dust up that listeners had with Mike Massey.
Oh my God, yeah.
And, I look at that and I see the what's going on. I called Mike after that, just as a friend, and called him. And I didn't get into it with him, but he was fucking short with me at first. And it was like he probably assumed, and I didn't ask him about this, but he probably assumed that I saw the fight. And the listeners were right in a lot of respects. I thought they handled themselves well.
Very
I
true.
know they were really just
And-
asking for humanity.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
asking for him to kind of say, hey, don't
And-
tell us we're evil.
And they remembered, hey man, when your kid was sick and you were in town, we raised a few $1,000 in a night on the spot, unprepared. That wasn't the plan. That happened on the spot.
And then we didn't set up.
We didn't
Listeners
set up.
just showed
No,
up
no,
with that
listeners-
pinball or whatever. And
Listeners literally passed around a bucket and raised a few $1,000s for him when his kid was going through some stuff. And so to just go, oh, if you support Trump, you're evil. Like their argument was, like, go fuck yourself, man. That's bullshit. So I called Mike and he was short with me at first, like, yeah, cooking dinner, nothing, this and that. And then we just started talking. And it was good. It was like, yeah, dude, I'm just the fucking shithead that talks into a microphone. I'm not some Klansman. I don't even know who he thinks I'm voting for, or if he even thought I would have anything to do. But I'm a byproduct of the listeners that listen to this show. And so, it's like, dude, you're just a guy that I think is really talented, and I like talking to you, like hanging out with you. You've always felt that about me. We disagree politically on virtually everything, but I think it goes without saying that I'm not a Klansman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a bad guy, and I can promise you, the listeners of the show, not fucking bad people.
Right.
They're not. You might not agree, but I'm using Mike Massey as an example because I know a lot of people probably saw that or did see that post, and a lot of people then write to me, I'm not jumping into that shit.
That's a
I'm not-
microcosm of society right now. I mean,
Right, but then
everybody's sort of on
they
that.
hit me up going, "Fuck, you see what your boy said? Fuck this. I wish I could take back the fact that I paid for one ticket to a show, And I understand that reaction. That wasn't mine. Me, I'm going, fuck, man. People got to be in a really bad place, and it's not just Mike Massey or listeners. A lot of people are feeling that stress, and if you think that Hitler is running the country, it takes the gloves off. You can act any way you want. If you think that you're stopping Hitler, the fact is there's policy issues behind some things. And if you're a conservative, and I think this is your point in a lot of things. This was Jay's point in a lot of things. If your concern is for conservative, core beliefs,
or just general love of this country, feeling that this country is, although
Right.
not perfect, pretty damn fucking good.
yeah, and it's never said to be perfect.
Right.
Everybody agrees with that. It's like the dust up over George Floyd. What are we doing, people? We all agree that was shitty.
Yeah.
Those people will go on trial. They will be tried and prosecuted, like through the law. And I understand the emotional response, but that's how it's done. What we don't do is burn the city and act like it almost, to justify that, you would have to almost make the conclusion you think half the country thinks that was okay.
Yeah. So we
To
support
lay on
that.
a guy's knee into a guy's neck for 8.5 minutes until he's dead. Like, I don't remember anybody arguing with that. The closest that anyone came to that was probably me when I read a story that next morning from a police union guy that said something about technique uses, blah, 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 in Minnesota law. And I expressed that on the show, like, I want to know what those are. And everyone flipped out at me like, it doesn't fucking matter. Fuck that. And I was like, no, I understand that. I'm on your side.
Yeah.
It looks horrendous. But I did want to know what the law said. I'm not going to stop asking questions.
Well, sort of the
It's kind
perfect
of what we
storm
do.
of the political aspect of it.
Right.
The division that we have, and then when you had the whole Black Lives thing, and it was that
split.
perfect divide.
Right.
Right down the middle almost, and it created the perfect storm. It was crazy how it took a life of its own almost.
But that person might exist that goes, fuck George Floyd.
Sure,
he deserved
yeah.
it. That guy might exist, but if he might be wearing a MAGA hat.
Right.
He doesn't speak for MAGA fans.
Yeah.
He just doesn't. And I try to do this when I think of some crazy liberal bullshit to fund the police. And I go, are you out of your fucking mind? Are you literally out of your mind? How insane that sounds to someone like me. And I try to put it in perspective and go, okay, as crazy as I think this sounds, they think that, and you got to just respect that. And you go, okay, I'm trying here. I don't get it all. There was something that happened, and I feel that guttural response come up. I was at my sister's house, and Jen is there, and we're talking about something, and she's got a friend, and she'll probably kill me for talking about it, but who's on Facebook, and she's one of these pro fucking titty feeding in public thing. One of those like
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
and I'm a pro titty feeding
Sure,
too. Pull your
yeah.
tits out anywhere you
Yeah,
want. Pull them out.
I'm a fan.
Fucking feed your kid, whatever. That's I'm just looking at the beauty in you feeding
Of
your kid.
course.
I'm not staring
That's
at your
the most
tits.
natural thing there
No,
is.
it's natural. Everything about it. So pull your tits out, ladies. I don't care. It's great. But she's one of these fucking. I'm going to post pictures of me and my 6-year-old titty feeding and blah blah blah. Me in a bathtub. It's natural. Blah, blah, blah. And I hate those people so much. And I said, and I could feel the blood, but like you fucking. Got your pictures of you with a fucking.
We get it already.
We got it. We got it. You want to pull your tits out and feed your fucking kid? No one cares. Stop. Both. Yeah, right. And all this glamour stuff. It's like, stop judging me. It's beautiful. It's natural. And it's like, shut up. You're showing off. You don't need to feed your kid on the Senate floor and flop your tit out in Congress. You can have a fucking meeting for an hour and then go titty feed your kid.
Yep.
Right? You appear to be showing off and you're some sort of agenda. And I'm starting to get ramped up, and go through my whole spiel like I'm known to do. And Jin looks at me and he just goes, hey, man, I know how you feel, but if you knew this girl, if you met this girl, you'd fucking love her. She's awesome. She's fucking awesome. She's the neatest girl, greatest personality. I know this thing will rile you up. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I've thought that about Raj Sharma. Super fucking liberal. If I just saw his Twitter or his Facebook thing, I'd be like, fuck that Indian.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't agree with anything. But then you fucking know the dude.
Yeah.
You talk to the dude. You hang with the guy and you go, that's a brother right there. That's my boy. I met that girl. titty feeding one. She made me laugh in 2 minutes. And it was like, that's where we need to get and realize, you know what?
That part.
All these fucking things that divide us and the forces that are trying to do that on an everyday basis, we have so much more. And it really hit me. I was like, fuck, man, Jen's right. There's probably a million things about this chick that I fucking would adore and love hanging out with. And I'm glad I met her. And you know what? It's one of those things. I'm probably doing things. You guys are probably doing things that other people, if they don't know you, I know Mike Massey. I know listeners are pissed off these posts, and I know he can get worked up. And if you understand context of where Mike Massey's background is, you know, you're talking about a defense attorney, public defender, not making a ton of money as a lawyer who worked with, you know, inner city poor people and trying to defend them in a system that is so fucked against them and so many cases stacked from here to the heavens that will never get done in time. You can imagine from that perspective, seeing that abuse and like this guy's sitting in jail for a fucking year because he can't afford $1,000 bail, and his shit's not going to come up on the docket for a year. You can see how seeing that time and time again. My mom working as a parole officer, probation officer in downtown Detroit for years, seeing the system at play and how it works, have a different perspective on, you know, so as much as we want to write people, fuck that guy or fuck that girl. Oh yeah, fuck you and your titty feeding thing. Fuck you and your Black Lives Matter.
The only bad thing is
it's hard. It's, you know, trying to get a better understanding of where people are coming from will take us a mile further down the road.
What's too bad,
really
dude,
will.
And I do not try to. I hate saying this because I think it's almost like making an excuse or just giving a. But I swear to God, the problem. I don't want to be the problem is they, but the problem is a lot of. I've been going through it. We've talked about on the show many times. These local comics in Michigan that just, for whatever reason, because they've gotten a few paid gigs, they think they're fucking Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, I think you got to
to
put that in context. But go ahead.
But my point is, like, I feel like the people I know don't do that. And unfortunately, I feel like the people that are polling more for Biden do that. Like, I think that they don't listen to us at all, and I'm willing to listen to anybody.
Yeah,
and
I know you are.
And if you listen, I watched that show. I finally watched Safe Space. You know, the one Adam Carolla did.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's
great
like you watch that, and it's like, I'm sorry, but like, it's unfortunately these people are against Trump. They're rolling. They're using fascist tactics to then tell us why we can't support a fascist. And it's like, I'm just wanting
the irony
free
is
speech.
not
right.
lost
like,
on any of us. It's
no,
not.
but so my point is, I'm just trying to say in general, it's too bad because you say that, and I'm not trying to say, but they need to listen to me. I don't even mean it like that. But I mean, they should. I know people that they, like you said, these people would literally kick me out of their lives. If they knew these things.
And
it's
you know
like,
what?
I don't do that to them.
What are you going to do? All we can do is recognize it as a thing, and you go, you know, the people that I got along with before, I got along with for reasons that had nothing to do with politics.
But by far.
This is just a time and a place.
Yeah, if I didn't like Mike McCool or you, Troy, or E, or Trav, or Deuced, like, I don't agree politically with McCool. These are just friends of ours. I could be saying Bill, Jim, and Steve.
Right.
If I didn't get along with McCool on a personal level, or Deuced, or Troy, or any of these people, like that's so much more built in. It gives you ground, it gives you leeway where McCool can say something that I totally disagree with, but it's like, yeah, but he's built up so much capital with me over 30 years that it doesn't fucking matter.
No, it's not going to end a friendship
Troy's
over it.
capital is built up with me over years. I've known E for 10 years
Unfortunately, though, they're just weirdly that there's these people that don't take that into account.
No.
Like I said, I've known people for 7 years doing comedy, and if I told them yesterday I voted for Trump, they would just be like, oh, I kind of always thought he was a racist or some bullshit, and it would just feel like it would take.
Wasn't there a post that Massey made that really pissed you off?
Oh, dude, yeah, he got one. I don't do it. I don't get into the game too often, but I almost did. Because he had one suggesting that it was basically saying that Republicans should be expecting their new hoods in the mail next week or something like that.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to do was like, I wanted to bring my dad into it because I wanted to be, but on a personal level, like he's just throwing this out here, and I'm like, oh, I was going to be like, oh, I'll let my lifelong Republican dad, who is one of the least racist people I've ever met in my entire life, I'll let him know to expect his hood. Like, Are you fucking kidding me, dude? That's
Were
really
you a racist when you voted for Bush?
That's
were you
Yeah.
were you a racist then? Like now all of a
Yeah.
sudden, if you're
No,
really
I don't
insulting.
know. I don't know how the thinking gets there. I'll be honest.
And he said later it's a joke. Of course, someone said because someone took it seriously. And here's the problem: someone did.
Well,
take it
he's not a
seriously.
comedian. If a comedian said it, you could go, okay, he's a comic. If Newberg said it,
Right.
you'd go, okay, he's a comic. He's working something out. He's trying to see what lands in this field.
So someone was like responded like going like, "Oh my god, this is terrifying," and he's like, "Well, it's satire." It's like. Most people wouldn't necessarily know that from you. You don't really joke a lot.
Yeah, and it's and how much truth is believed in that.
I think that's a thing. Yeah.
There's been a tremendous amount of ginning up on certainly on the left. You'd have to admit that there is a tremendous push to blanket cover this election in you're either for racism and xenophobia and homophobia and everything, or you're a good person.
Trump to Biden. Who built those cages? Silence.
Yeah,
no
silence.
response, dude.
Yeah,
he asked him twice. Who built those cages? Who built them, Joe?
Yeah, and
crickets.
To think that any one political party is responsible for the
I agree.
the situation that we're in right now.
I
mean,
agree.
we just came off 8 years of fucking Democratic fucking. You know what
Leadership.
I mean? It's ridiculous to think
totally.
that the blame falls one way or the other. It's just ignorant. Actually,
and
is what it is.
The idea. You can't be stupid enough to think that the last 3 years has done this to the. No, Trump is a result of the previous 60 years of politicians.
Exactly, that's true. Republican and Democrat.
We are here because of 60 straight years of these fucking slime balls. And if you think Biden's not a slime ball, you are highly misinformed. That dude is a fuckwad himself. And so, his statements that he's made when you want to go, oh, Trump said there's good people on both sides. Motherfucker, you don't have to go back but a week to see Joe Biden saying shit that is way more offensive and not taken out of context.
By the way,
that exists. I'm not saying Trump is right or wrong, and
God, no.
I understand. I fucking hated Donald Trump for a lot of years, but
No, what you said is
back
right.
to
What you said is right. You said it the best there, though. That's the point. That's the thing, though. It is not. He is not the cause of this. He is the result, like you said, of those amount of years and both sides, Republican, the swamp, if you will.
Yes, of course. And if the reality is, this is going to be a close election. Why would it be a close? If you really thought this guy was a fucking homophobic, racist monster, Hitler. You've called him Hitler. If you really believed that he was Hitler, why would this be a close election?
Because
half
of the country is racist.
You really think that half the country is supporting Hitler?
Probably.
Really?
I think so.
It's funny. I feel your pain for your dad. When you're like, hey man, fuck you. My dad should expect his hood in the mail.
Right, that's what I wanted. That's right. My only thought was, I took it back because what was the point? But my only thought of typing that out was like, I wanted Michael Massey to see me. He's met me and tell me and try to tell me my dad's racist.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
My dad. It's funny. My dad's conservative, and he's getting older, so he's getting a little more bullish in his opinions, and a little more fuck everybody kind of attitude a little bit. I get it, but
good for him.
But here's a guy born and raised in San Francisco, right? Goes to school. My aunt and uncle went to Berkeley in the 60s. My dad went to San Jose State with the guys who were in the Mexico Olympics raising their fists, was in school with those two guys who were San Jose State athletes. So that's where they come from. When my dad went to flight school, his choices were to go and fly jets in Mississippi and my dad was like, Mississippi is like the most racist part of the country. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. And forego going. How do you say that? Forego. Foregone. He decided not to go to Mississippi and went to Florida to fly what the choppers or whatever, the big fucking bulky military planes they had at the time. And he was there for a week and had to call the naval commander and be like, man, I really fucked up. Anyway,
give me the jets. Give me the jets.
I want to be in a jet, man. I'm not flying the school bus in the air. Fuck this. And the guy, he was there with he was stationed with a roommate or whatever to go through flight school, and he literally called the local politician or whatever in the Navy to get him out of being there. He's like, I made a huge mistake. And the guy's like, the commanding officer like, no one's ever called with that request, but hold on. And fucking literally on the phone, got him transferred to Mississippi. He's like, pack your shit, you're leaving tomorrow. My dad's roommate was like, yo, man, give me the phone. Let me talk to that motherfucker.
I want out, too.
And got a transfer, too, out of flying those planes. But, you know, so here's a guy who literally wouldn't go to Mississippi because he was so thought it was as like, that's a racist plague of the nation. I don't want anything to do with that sort of thing. He's conservative. He's conservative in his fucking beliefs. He'll vote for Trump because that's what is going to get conservative policies
Everybody has their
forward.
own belief. I mean, you're not I mean, some people are Trumpers, but most people are just Republicans.
Yeah.
The Republicans have been around long before Trump and will be around
long after Trump.
This country is based on
Yeah.
a two-party system
If
of
you don't
Republicans
want
and
big
Democrats.
government, if you've watched government waste fucking...
Or you're pro-life, or a million other, aspects of
Yeah, the
that
Supreme
side of
Court
what you
nominations.
follow or what you believe in.
Yeah.
Doesn't make you racist. Doesn't make Trump just happens to be the fucking representative for the Republican side.
Yeah,
you know?
and people that like him have liked his policies and his kind of get shit done attitude.
Yeah.
And I think it would go a long way. I was talking to someone who's a total never Trumper, and he loves to text me with a story. Trump said this, Trump did that. I'm sure you guys are all getting those texts from people.
Right.
That point out. Here's more proof your guy's a piece of shit, or something. I'm
So
like,
productive, by the way. What a
not my
productive way to
guy.
live your life.
First off, he's not my guy. I get it, But you read shit. I forgot where I was going to go with that. But what I said to him was, I said, you know what, man, your argument would go so much further with me if occasionally, once in a while, you went, hey, man, I saw what your boy did with the HBCUs, the historically black colleges and universities, and got their funding done for the next
How about
decade.
this thing he's doing with the Middle East?
How about the shit going on in the middle? Hello.
No credit for anything good. It's all
just
negative.
throwing it out there.
If you could just recognize, hey, man, I hate everything about your boy. I think his rhetoric is poison for the country. But I got to give him credit. Who would have ever thought this fucking clown could get some headway done on peace in the Middle East? Nobody would have thought that. But the fact is, he's getting some shit done. The fact is, the HBCU, the crime bill, all the shit that he's been doing, it was Obama that put kids in fucking cages. I'm sorry to tell you, it was. Those pictures are of his kids put in cages. Trump didn't build those cages. Shut the program down.
Did you actually send that text? I was just curious. Did you
Yeah, no, I had a conversation.
What was the response, kind of?
The response was very good. Like, oh, no shit, I never thought of it that way. I said, dude, you become the boy who cried wolf when you've only got news one way, slanted one way.
Right.
If you can't ever just go, hey, man, got to give it up. Still fuck your boy, but got to give
validity.
it up.
You lose
you lose all credibility. It's
objectivity.
like, yeah, your objectivity doesn't exist. And so when you can just see that, I at least then can go, hey, man, this guy's not just a partisan hack who's just cherry picking stories in the press to prove that this guy's worse than Hitler. Like, yeah, dude, we all see the news. You think you're the only one watching the fucking news? You think you're the only one getting the story and you got to fill me in? You think I didn't read it before you sent it to me, asshole? Really? And you know what? I could sit here all
That's
day
the other
with
funny
you.
thing, as if you didn't see.
Right.
By the time they're sending that, like, what you didn't see.
Really?
Right.
I had an example in my timeline a while back, and it just was so perfect that I wish I would have saved it, shared it, whatever. But two different people, two polarly opposite, beliefs, way left, way right, whatever. Both of them came right on top of each other through my feed with the exact same story.
Oh boy!
From two different sources.
Right.
One
Two
was from
different
Fox
papers?
News. One was from CNN. Whatever it was.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're both split.
Hilarious.
And one was like, "Look at how great he is," and "Look at how fucking shitty he is." And it was like, and it was just such an amazing moment to see that and to go like, right, you can see that you're just talking about the exact same thing. You're
Yeah.
just putting it in a different perspective, and depending on how you want to look at it. You did that. It was fucking the worst thing, but it was just so black and white because it came through right there, just one on top of each other, the exact same story,
Yeah.
different verbiage because it came from different news sources, and their opinion was, fuck him or this is great, see how awesome he did. And I don't even remember what the story was now.
It doesn't
was
matter what the
irrelevant.
story
It was
was.
irrelevant,
Yeah.
right? But it was like and I wanted to take it and show it and send it to both of them. Be like, do you both see what assholes you are?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How about you just shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
First of all, nobody gives a fuck who you're going to vote for. Shut the fuck up and vote. This country is based on this fucking forget the word. No. I mean the blind election, like the
anonymous.
anonymous, whatever. The not knowing what your vote is. This is what it's based on.
Yeah.
Of not knowing who you're voting for. Of not.
Well, that's a way to not politicize it. If it's anonymous, then you can't threaten people into, you can go, I voted however you wanted. That's why I don't believe these polls. I don't believe people would be honest about. I sure as shit wouldn't.
Yeah.
And if someone
I
called
would be
me
dishonest just to do it.
I would be dishonest just to do it, just to be a fuckhead. I just would. You think I'm going to tell you? Like, no, because I don't need it. And you know what? It's an anonymous thing, so you don't get to see that. You don't get to hear that. You
Secret
don't get
ballot.
To know,
that was the word. I
secret
couldn't
ballot.
think of.
Yeah.
But basically, that's what it's based on. And but now it's so in your face. It's so publicized that you have to basically almost announce your allegiance.
That's the point.
One way or the other.
If you don't, again, if you're in the middle, if you don't tell people you're not Trump, by the way, if you don't tell people you hate Trump,
you're not with
then
us.
you're
You're
just
against us.
Fucking.
Well, we've done it again. However you want to judge it. We've done it again and put up two candidates that are suspect at best and gone, this is the best we got for you.
Yeah.
This is the best
30 million people.
This is what we can offer.
The NCAA tournament, and that's what we get. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's 1 and 2.
Can we have a single elimination of the country?
And I don't know what we do about
better
that.
than that. Like,
Joe Biden scares the shit out of me. Trump, I know what Trump is. Trump is blathering and blustery. Like, but I know what he is. I'm okay with his fucking tweets and his dumb shit. I wish he wouldn't do it. Yeah. If you think that Trump supporters love all that shit, they don't. No. It's more conservative policies. And
I would like to know people that are
Biden, but my point was, the Democratic Party was the one this year. There's an incumbent, so Trump wasn't going to be going up against anyone. But the Dems had a window here, and I was listening to Andrew Yang.
Yeah,
I was. There was someone with some different ideas and thoughts about how to get something done. Pete Buttigieg, too young, inexperienced. Andrew Yang, you could probably say the same. Tulsi Gabbard, I could have got on board with Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah. That broad has done 2 tours in Afghanistan for the military. Quick, smart, strong. I liked her. She wasn't going to take shit from people. Mm-hmm. Like, there was a lot I could get behind.
They couldn't have one, but
Joe fucking Biden
doesn't even fucking
Joe Biden
finish a
really
sentence.
No, and I've got a list of shit here that we could go through. And I could run through a gaffe list of Joe Biden. A lot of that, dude. We've done it here, the three of us sitting here. Secret ballots. You couldn't come up with secret ballots. It doesn't mean you've got dementia and you're losing your shit and you can't ever fucking be like, dude, I just did it a second ago trying to think of someone's name on here. Like, I get it. There's a laundry list of, the big story today was Biden, called him George. Do you have the clip there? Did you pull that up?
I didn't realize that's what the clip was.
Yeah, Biden.
Oh, okay, I didn't even realize. Yeah, I knew he did that, but I didn't realize that's what this was. I didn't actually look into it.
And I haven't spent a lot of time on this. I'll just play it for you really quick, and if you guys had points you wanted to make, feel free. And you've got the volume there.
What kind of country we're going to be? 4 more years of Georgia. He's going to find ourselves in a position where, if Trump gets elected, we're going to be.
Back it up. Is she saying Trump? I heard under her breath she's going Trump.
4 more years of Georgia. He's going to find ourselves.
I wonder what the sign language chick said.
If Trump gets elected, we're going to be.
She was confused.
In a different world.
That's crazy to me, honestly. I'm not saying it means he has dementia, I guess, but it's pretty bad.
Well, here's the thing. Depending on what team you're on, I'll show you how the media splits this for you.
You're exactly right.
If you're on Trump's side, this fucking guy doesn't even know he's running against. He thinks he's running against George Bush, maybe. Maybe he thinks he's running against H.W. Bush, and he's thinking it's 20 years ago, 30 years ago. We don't know. This guy's off his marbles. He doesn't know who he's running against. If you're on the left, you would watch that, and you'd know the moderator is George Lopez, and he's saying George, and if you play it again under that context, he's probably saying George Bush. I don't know, but if you want to see the movie one way, you can. You can
see it any way you want.
If you choose to believe he's talking about George Bush and he forgets who he's running against, you can see it that way. Play it again as if he's saying George as in George Lopez, who he's interviewing with, and see if you could hear the thing there that way, because that's how the other side is hearing it.
I don't-
So we're
yeah,
both
okay.
watching the same movie.
Right.
To be 4 more years of George. George, he's going to find ourselves in a position
No,
where if Trump gets
No.
elected,
No, I'm trying to be objective.
Trav, can you
I
hear
know.
it?
I don't know.
You think he's talking about George Bush?
I was watching her.
Yeah, I know. It looks like there's a glitch in there, so it looks like someone fucked with it in post. You know, like did some editing something. It looks weird.
I'm seriously. I'm trying to be objective. I'm not trying to. I don't think
So
he's
am
talking
I.
about George. He's talking about.
And you know what, E? We'll never know.
I know.
There's no way to know. And
He'll
God
just-
damn it,
right.
of course that motherfucker had to have George Lopez as a moderator to
And
even
you
open
did.
this window.
Ask him, you'll get yelled at. So
It's okay, even if you do
Yeah.
fuck. Like I said, I couldn't think of secret ballot. It doesn't. I mean, you can fuck up on a
Well,
name.
my only
and your
problem
brain
would be
can
is
be
that-
going in a million different directions and whatever.
yeah. Well,
But-
it's funny how they all. Again, not to say they all, but if you're gonna go that way, my lord, the stuff we made fun of George W. for. I mean, he's got
yeah.
100 of them.
He was just
Dude,
dumb.
I'm just. But I'm just
What's-
saying.
We took Quayle out of commission for dropping an E in the word potato.
Right, just shut him down.
You know what I mean?
Like the
that
worst
dude
thing
shit
ever.
ended over potato misspelling. You know what I mean? Biden, it's funny, if you want to go down that road, I mean, some of them we've remembered. He fucked up I could send every kid to college for $150 billion. Even his campaign had to come out and say,
no,
double that
math
at
was
least.
flawed.
I think my favorite, honestly, even though it's not that necessarily sexy, but was the one when he's like, 115 million dead or something like that. He was
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
COVID, and he's like,
No, to gun violence.
no, this was about COVID.
Yeah, when
he was
it
talking
was-
about
Well,
COVID.
I'll tell you what
we,
they were.
we finally
No,
reached.
I've got a list here for you, boys. I
Sure.
can tell you what they were, and they're funny. And some of these are legit. Some of these are bullshit. Some of these are secret ballot.
Yep.
And when you're talking all the time and you're constantly talking, that's what happens
From
to
his
all of us
basement.
on some level. Joe Biden's has been historically a gaffe machine.
Oh, yeah.
He has. He looks to me, when you look at videos from the 80s, 90s, 2000s of Joe Biden, he's crisp. He might have his gaffes where he's going to sniff a chick's hair, a little kid. He's going to fucking linger too long and be inappropriate.
Which, by the way, just completely never mentions. Never mentioned about it. Why would we mention that the possible president has had multiple times on camera just sniffing women's hair, sometimes in press conferences where Obama's there.
Yeah.
But no, we're not even gonna.
Or that he called him bright, articulate, and clean.
right.
Or the first black president, he called bright, articulate, and clean.
Or that his running mate called him a racist like a month ago or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
He was a racist pig at the.
See, I thought the one that was worse than all was in 2019. So a year ago in August, at the Asian and Latino Coalition in Des Moines, Iowa, when we've all seen the clip. You probably don't remember where it's from. But their poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Oh.
Whoa. That one to me,
Now,
is that Freudian? Is that a
I don't
Freudian
see-
slip? What is that?
My point, what I would say to that is not a hidden ballot situation to me. Like I'm not saying what he meant to say, but dude, that's not. He just kind of like didn't know what he was saying and said something.
Yeah,
Like,
that
dude,
seems.
that's it might have snuck past like the
That
fucking
seems-
filter, the old person filter, but like
That one to me seems like he's got it, and why wouldn't he? He's 78 years old.
Yeah.
right.
He's got in his head that poor kids are from inner cities, therefore black and Latino.
Yep.
And so poor kids are just as, capable as white kids.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I could be wrong. Maybe
Yeah.
he just totally misspoke.
Like
I
Bill
don't know.
Burr was when he did that Saturday Night Live. He was doing that thing, on Saturday Night Live. That in his monologue, he had that whole thing about what. God, fuck! Now I'm fucking up on it, but it was
See,
like,
Joe
see,
Biden.
come on.
It was basically
Get
what
out
you're
of the way.
not. It was
Fit
basically
for
what
duty.
you're saying, and then like it kind of got like, oh, yeah, did am I the only one here with grandparents or some shit like that?
Oh, yeah. You say
It's
something in
like-
front of grandma and grandpa, it goes off the rails really quick. Like, oh.
Sorry, that's what I was
Louis
trying
C.K. famously did a bit about that, about taking his daughters to grandma's house, and she's got the big black nuts there.
Yeah.
She's like, oh yeah, those are N-word toes or whatever.
Yeah.
It's, and I was watching some documentary with my parents recently, and my mom was like, you remember do you know what they used to call those? I was like, yeah, Ma, I do. She wasn't going to say it, but
Right,
she was
right.
pointing out, and it was like, that was really a thing. That's what they
Yeah,
called
it's
it.
kind of
really?
what it was.
Wow,
But I mean, I
okay.
could see even like that. I mean, not to defend him or anything, but where you're stuck in between the two, because you could be saying rich kid, poor kids, black kids, white kids.
Yeah.
And you sort of cross the two.
Yeah.
And you come out, but it just comes across that way, and you go straight from poor kids, white kids.
Yeah,
You know.
poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. But every time I see that clip, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
motherfucker,
boy.
that hurt.
Yeah, boy.
Wow. Later that day is when he told the crowd, "We choose unity over division. We choose science over fiction. We choose truth over facts. We choose truth over facts." Okay. He was asked August 9th that year, the next day, how many genders are there? Some smartass on the right. Well,
That would be a great question to ask him.
how many genders are there? He said, there are at least 3. And the reporter said, what are they? he responded, don't play games with me, kid, before turning and saying, by the way,
How many?
the first one to come out for marriage was me.
Marriage.
marriage,
I'm
or-
all
Assuming
for
you meant
marriage.
gay
Just for marriage, or
I was for marriage.
Yeah.
But he says, "Don't be funny with me." But I'd like to hear him answer that right now, today.
Well, there's
Yeah.
guys and there's girls, and then there's the other.
Then there's
He said, "There's
chicks with dicks.
I like that he says there's at least 3, but not
There's
like
boys, there's girls, and there's chicks with dicks right there in the middle.
boys, girls,
there in
and
the
all these
middle.
other things that are gonna get my vote. I guess I don't like. No, for real, today. I'd
And
like to
isn't
answer that
3
today.
the wrong answer anyways? Isn't it like fucking a shitload of genders?
Probably 100, I guess.
I mean, I don't know how many
I
genders.
believe it's infinite.
Right?
Yeah,
I don't think you can put a cap on
I
something
mean, if
like
you're
that.
in that 4th gender
You
category,
can just
I
make up whatever the
apologize
fuck
for
you
even-
want now at this point.
If you're in gender 4 through 100 right here, I apologize for even
Right.
talking about this. You must be terribly offended. Biden says when he was VP, Parkland shooting. And this one doesn't bother me as much. Parkland shooting took place, and he said, he says he was VP when Parkland shooting took place, even though it occurred in 2018. Those kids at Parkland came up to see me when I was vice president. Now, what he meant there was the shooting at Sandy Hook. The families from
Yeah.
Sandy Hook,
Okay,
which
well,
happened
whatever,
in
yeah.
2012.
Hard to keep all those school shootings
I mean,
straight.
yeah, we've had so many school shootings.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ, who could keep all that straight? I don't go.
Sure.
Yeah, he's fucking lost his marbles.
Yeah.
Biden forgot the name of the last Supreme Court nominee under Barack Obama. That was on Jimmy Kimmel's show. That's one of those secret ballot things to me. Back when they were holding up, before Trump got elected, they were holding up the nomination that the president put forward for the Supreme Court. Merrick Garland. He's talking about Merrick Garland.
Yep.
And Jimmy Kimmel bailed him out there and went, Merrick Garland. And he said, yeah, Merrick Garland, really fine man. Merrick Garland is a really fine man. I had no problem with Merrick Garland. I liked that, that was a point where, right?
Kidding. No.
Merrick Garland was put up knowing the White House did not also have the Senate to vote him in. So Obama had to put someone up that if there was any chance, it never went to a nomination, but had it gone to a nomination, I can't put some fucking uber left-wing nut
Yeah,
job
we'll never get it.
because I can force it through. It will never go through a Republican Senate. So I'll put up Merrick Garland. If you looked at Merrick Garland as a record, you'd go, objectively, and if you were on the right, you'd go, okay, I can fathom this dude. I can put up with this guy. He's not fucking some whack job left nut loony that I totally disagree with on everything. I can stomach Merrick Garland. Now, Merrick Garland never got a shot. I blame the Republicans and the Democrats for that. If you remember, that was coming up on the election for Trump. Nobody, and I mean nobody in America thought Trump was going to win that election. Even Donald Trump didn't think he was going to win that election over Hillary Clinton. So I think Hillary Clinton, Obama, I think all of them were willing to take a knee and not press that issue farther to at least get him a vote in the Senate because they knew with certainty, and this is the scary part for the right wing, it was almost like, I'll take the lesser of two evils. Just put Merrick Garland in now, and he's not a nut job. He's okay.
Yeah.
But had we not had that vote, which we didn't, and then Hillary won, she could go fuck Merrick Garland and put in some total fucking lefty, and there would have been nothing that anyone could have done about it on the right. Yeah. So a lot of people at the time were like, fuck, I'd rather get this guy through who's at least okay. I thought the Democrats gave up on that fight way too early. I don't know that it would have mattered. I think the Republicans, for argument's sake, but fine, give us your guy. We'll put him up for nomination. He's going to lose because you don't have the votes in the Senate.
Yeah.
Period. Hey, we gave him a vote. He didn't get through. My bad. So what? You know, that's where the right is eating crow today.
Yeah.
It's a totally different thing. I'm sorry, it is. When you have the White House and the Senate,
Right.
it's a totally different vote. You have the votes now.
Yeah.
It's not the same
You
thing
don't
it was.
You don't need their approval.
No, you don't. You don't need their approval. That's the big difference. But I understand when you've got people like Mitch McConnell and you've got people like Lindsey Graham going, take my word for it. You can quote me on this. No one should get shoved through during an election. Those things are coming back to bite them in the balls right now. And I don't blame people on the left for being fucking pissy about it. Now the details matter, and you know that's why that's happening the way it is. Just my 2 cents on it, but you know, Amy Coney Barrett, I'm assuming, was pressed through today. I
didn't even get a final. I haven't heard, but
the vote was going through today, and I thought they said that
it's all but
one of the Supreme Court guys was going to swear her in today. What's his name? The black dude.
Oh, you're not fit for duty.
I know
Come
I'm
on,
not.
see? What the hell, man?
Who am I thinking of? Who's the fucking Supreme Court Justice?
Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Thomas, thank you. Who was putting a pubic hair in my coat? Fucking Clarence Thomas. Anita Hill. Yeah, I think Clarence Thomas was overseeing or swearing her in today or something like that.
Look at me.
What's that?
Look at me.
It's happening right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So Biden forgot that at one point. He claimed to have the backing of the Senate's only black female senator during a Democratic debate. I have more people supporting me in the black community that have vouched for me because they know who I am. The only African-American woman who's ever been elected to the United States Senate. Kamala Harris then corrected and said, that's not true. The other one is me right here. You know, in his defense, I mean, if at first glance, would you automatically assume Kamala Harris is black?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would you?
I think so.
Really?
I think so. I mean, that would be my go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd go, there's something, I don't know what it is,
Yeah,
but
well, you know.
black, I don't know. I was like, oh, no shit, she's black? Okay. I mean, I don't have a problem with it at all, but,
sure.
you know, at
But
first
he should know
glance,
that she was. I think he should
Yeah.
know that she
yeah.
was black.
Well, he's going against this other chick, and you could see how that would happen. You'd go,
Looks like
this
the
black chick on
white
the
mama.
whatever is supporting me, and the only one on the Senate. And she goes, I'm here too.
By the way, did she come out and say she wasn't supporting him?
Well, she's calling him racist. I mean,
I mean, well, no, she's okay.
what?
Well, as vice president, I guess.
Yeah.
For a racist.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
you know.
you eat a little crow when you get the chance to be VP.
We all remember the.
It was a debate.
That was, dude. Her cackle laugh.
was
What
that
the fuck?
Creepy? That was creepy.
It's creepy. Did you watch 60 Minutes yesterday with her on?
No, I didn't.
They interviewed Trump and Pence and blew that up and blah blah blah. It's stupid. We won't get into details on that. But yeah, she did that too.
that
weird,
laugh, that weird defensive
cackle.
Yeah, it's a coping mechanism of some sort.
Yeah, there's something so undesirable about anybody that would want to be in a position of leadership like that. There's something so undesirable about you as a human being for the most part when you see someone that thinks they're the person to run the whole thing, your ego has to be so inflated to even think of doing that job and to what you have to do to get there.
That's why we end up with who we are.
So
because
unappealing.
most real people don't want any fucking part of it.
Yeah.
Legitimate people that we actually want to do it don't want any part of it.
And the people that play the game, that don't play the game, don't get through there. They just don't. Yeah, the time on Fox News, he called, he'd done an interview earlier that day with Chuck Todd, and he called Chris Wallace Chuck. Like that, I get it. If you're doing a shitload of interviews,
right.
You're going back to back to back interviews. I can see how that would happen.
Sure.
Did he, dude, I've done interviews where I don't know, I forget who I'm talking to. Like, who's fucking interviewing me again? Was it Chris and Joe or Joe and Chris? Like, I could totally see that. Calling someone a lying dog-faced pony soldier, that was a little odd. I think that's a reference to an old movie or something.
Yeah,
The push-ups was great.
Push-ups was great. Yeah, I didn't
God,
have
that
you
was-
pull that up.
It's not even a
either.
gaff, but it's
Yeah.
because that's not a gaff.
That's the
just
guy-
him being fucking him.
That was a guy who asked if his son Hunter earned a job on the board of Burisma, the Ukrainian energy firm, and he said, "You're a damn liar." And it's not true. I'm not sedentary. You want to check my shape? Let's do push-ups together. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want me to do. Let's take an IQ test. Wish that guy would have taken him up on it.
I wish you would take him up in the push-ups. My God.
What is that? Is that just like you're flustered? So it's like, motherfucker,
I think
take
so.
you
He
at a
puffs
push-up.
up.
Like
Yeah.
I've been in a
Here's been a
lot of
couple
arguments.
times that he's done that.
But like there's a lot of people, and I've gotten heated and angry, and then thought later, like, I shouldn't have said that part. That was mean. I wish I could take that back. But I've never been like, motherfucker, you want a chin up contest?
Yeah, well,
you want to go?
You're not
Shut
going
up,
to challenge
Troy.
anybody to that.
what can I do? You
Wanna have a debate?
You want to debate, motherfucker? You want to jump on a microphone and debate, motherfucker? Really?
What was his other one? Corn Pop? Was that?
Oh, Corn Pop's my favorite.
Yeah.
And this guy, I mean, look at the guy who was going to. It was almost a fucking.
Yeah, of course.
what's his-
Challenge the guy that looks like me in the room.
It's almost
to a
like, what was
push-up
his name,
contest.
dude? Like, what was that fucking guy's name now?
Didn't he call him fat too?
Oh, no, well, if you remember. if you remember, it was a debate whether he was going to. He was going to. A fat so is what we thought he was going to call him.
He was going to
and
call
then-
him a fatso. Yeah, I've got it here.
right.
But look, fat. Here's the deal. Play it. Yeah, he was going to call him fatso. This is great.
Send your son over there. Get a job and work for a gas company that he had no experience in gas, did nothing. In order to get access to
All the kids in the background.
By the way, this guy's a supporter of him, and he says that at the beginning,
showing
too.
access to the president, just like he is. So you
You're a damn liar, man. That's not true. And no one has ever said that?
Yeah, it is true. A lot of people are saying it.
Some of your
You
emails
see
and
it
texts.
on the TV. No, I know you do. And by the way, that's why I'm not sedentary. I get up and no, let him go.
What?
Let him go.
Let him
Look,
go.
The reason I'm running is because I've been around a long time and I know more than most people know. And I can get things done. That's why
No,
I'm
you
running.
can't, Joe.
And you want to check my shape line? Let's do push-ups together here, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do. Let's take
People clapping. What do push-ups have to do with his son?
The leader of the free world.
Deflect.
The almost
Deflect.
leader of the free world challenged him to a
My
push-up
son has
contest.
done anything wrong, and I did not on any occasion. And no one has ever said it. Not
I didn't
one.
say you were doing anything wrong. I
You said I set up my son to work in an
Yeah, you
auto
did.
company. Isn't that what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
That's what
Could you imagine if Trump did this?
Oh.
On MSNBC. All
You don't hear that on MSNBC. You did not hear that.
No, you wouldn't hear it on
You heard-
MSNBC.
Look, okay, I'm not going to get in an argument with you, man.
Well, I don't want to.
Listen, fatso.
Well, yeah, you do, but look, Fat, look, here's the deal.
He was definitely going
He's
to
definitely gonna call him fatso. I mean, I think even anyone on the left or the right can
Right.
agree he was going to call him.
If
Listen
someone
here,
tells,
fatso.
if someone is
Look,
going to try to tell me
look,
that,
fatso.
yeah. Anybody that you want to talk about, like earlier you said about sending texts, and if you're going to send, all bad, you have to send. If someone tells me objectively he was not about to call that man fat, then I can't.
You're not being objective.
I can't.
Lost all
I can't-
credibility.
Lost, yeah. And like, dude, the funny thing too that gets lost in that is that dude at the beginning. This is even before this clip. Before that, like. He tells him, like, I'm a supporter of you. Like, he says before he even asks the question, he's like, dude, I'm voting for you. But
doesn't-
here's just some question I kind of have.
Kind of want to clear some things up here.
Yeah, and he's right to ask that question, and it's shameful.
No,
what
no
the
one's ever
media's
asked it
doing
before,
right now.
though. No one's.
Yeah, no one, and everyone agrees.
one's ever
I love
said
how everyone agrees and everyone says. But
I mean, Trump says that, but he gets railed for it.
Yeah, that's his motto.
yeah. Well, the fact is, I started to read a while ago, Secret Empires, the Peter Schweitzer book about. I think that's the name of it, Secret Empires. And it's a great read. It's a little in the weeds, naming all these fucking people in Russian, and Ukrainian guys, oligarchs, and it gets deep and stacked quick. This Russian oligarch Olechensky is talking to this fucking guy, and he's on the board here. This guy's not, And when you start to see the details that Peter details in this book, it's crystal clear what was going on and why Hunter Biden would be on this Burisma, Rosemont Seneca and Burisma. You got John Kerry's stepson, Hunter Biden, and, the Biden family. Like, and these people are, in trouble on this Ukrainian energy company. And it gets really into the details of what these people are doing, how they've ripped off all this money, billions of dollars, and lining their own pockets. And they were getting all kinds of shit from governments around the world, freezing their assets, people being locked out of coming to America, being able to use a U.S. passport. And all of a sudden, when Joe Biden became in charge of Ukrainian policy and his son Hunter is on the board at Burisma, you know, we've like literally a week later, it's lifted. This guy's travel ban to the U.S. Like, that seems a little suspect. Why would a guy with a history of crack abuse, kicked out of the military for crack abuse, and no energy experience or gas experience or, you know, any experience in Ukrainian law, why would he be put on the board? It just looks bad. It stinks. And then you see some of the things crumble down, and that was always hanging there. We talked about this years ago, E. We've talked about this subject. You didn't have the smoking gun, but, you know, for all the people that want to point to, yeah, well, what if Trump's doing this and Russia and all this smoke? You have an engulfed house, in my opinion. This isn't smoke. This is a house on fire with Biden. For the media to take a knee on that, the New York Post's Twitter handle to this moment is frozen still over that story. That is the job of the media. I don't care, you know, Leslie Stahl, fuck you. Do your job. You don't debate the president on the facts of the story. You go research the facts. It's not President Trump's job to research the facts on that story, which are coming together nicely. I don't care what side you're on. And I understand this is going to affect almost no one's vote anyways. I've been saying, you know, Troy, you and I have had 1,000 conversations off the air over the last 6 months that other people haven't heard, but you could literally run a bowl of soup against Donald Trump right now, and it would get 35% of the vote. Yeah. That's the reality of the situation we're in right now. So Joe Biden 100% was lining his pockets through money from that. You can decide you don't want to. I don't want to hear that story. I don't want to believe that story. That story stunk 3 years ago. It stinks now. It's eloquently displayed in Peter Schweitzer's book, American Secret Empires. That book is fantastic. It's a little in the weeds, but there's no denying the people that are coming out now that sound like fucking cartoon gangsters. Tony Bobolinsky, hey. The people that are on the email chains and shit that are coming out now and confirming, yeah, the big guy's Joe Biden. Yeah, we all know.
Guy.
H. Why would you be saying H? The big guy, my chairman, like that. Yeah, that's code. You don't want his fucking name. You can understand that when you're talking about shady business deals like that, people getting paid on the back end. Yeah, I'll hold it here. It's why Joe Biden come out. I never once took a penny from blah blah. Now, no, you didn't, asshole. Your son H did. 10 held for the big guy by H. We all understand that. And when you read further into the story and you see that money literally goes offshore immediately and gone, untraceable, gone. Hey, look at my taxes. My taxes will show that I've never had any dealings with anybody, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no shit. It's buried in these offshore accounts. That's where that money goes, and then you get it later. Why does Joe Biden, a public servant, he's just a public servant, rolling up his sleeves.
He really is, by the way, because he's literally not had a job in 50 years.
Never.
So he's not even one of these ones who...
He's qualified for nothing. 47 years in the Senate, in a tiny little state. You know why he was the vice president? Because he didn't make headway. He didn't make noise. Easy. Pick him up, he'll go with the flow.
Like
go
Pence.
with the flow, Joe. You know, yeah, he wasn't going to rock the boat. Obama could do what he wants, and yeah, cool Joe will be there to do what he wants. You know, that's what Joe Biden is. Middle of the road Joe, not get much done, 47 years in the swamp at a menial salary. His wife, Dr. Jill, hilarious, with her doctorate in education. I know Whoopi Goldberg wants to make her the Surgeon General of the country, but she's got her doctorate in education, Whoopi. So, yeah. On a teacher's salary and his fucking Senate salary, he's got multiple million-dollar homes all over the country. How is that possible? Well, it's possible because that shit goes on all the time. Why doesn't I understand why Congress and Senate players don't want to talk about this story and they want it to go away. They're probably all doing the same thing.
Exactly
I don't
right.
think they're any different than Joe fucking Biden.
No.
But the
They
press,
all are.
fuck you. You cover this. You dig up everything you can. Again, I don't think it will change many votes.
Oh, it won't. I don't think it would matter. Like you said, I don't think it would matter if they knew it was true.
No.
And
it goes both ways, and it's gone on throughout history of time.
I know.
The annals of
Yeah.
time.
But you know what?
You can pick and choose. I mean, but and put a spotlight on whatever you want. I mean,
when I personally, and you can say how you feel about it. But when I talk about the swamp of Washington, we see this time and time and time and time again throughout history. These people go in as public servants, just doing my duty, my civic. Well, I'll do civic duty too then. If it gets me 4 fucking vacation homes and homes all over the world and $50 million. And Joe Biden's one of the least wealthy. He's got a worth of about $10 million. That my guess is he'll be a billionaire by the time all said and done. God only knows what he's got in offshore accounts. I assume that's going on everywhere, but I know that's going on, and I assume it's going on everywhere. You know, fuck these people. That's my idea. The fact that the media wants to take a knee on that is where it's unacceptable.
True.
I
Very
understand
true.
both sides are doing it. Find the smoke there and dig it up, and I'll do the same fucking story on Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Don't give me that Russia bullshit. We knew that. We sniffed that was bullshit the minute we saw that dossier. We read it. We read it on this show and went, fucking bullshit. This is what you got. This is bullshit.
Yep.
It is what it is, and that's why it never went anywhere. We knew it wouldn't go anywhere. Spend tens of millions of dollars, waste all that money, all you want. That story's not going anywhere. And people.
Or
That
by
don't
the way,
wanna see that,
while our politicians that are sitting here, and I get that he's the president. Again, coming from a person who said I wish the president would have handled COVID better personally.
Yeah.
Having said that, in January, when they're now saying, we knew this, you know, blah, 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 what were they doing? They were impeaching him, knowing that he wasn't going to get removed from office, knowing that, yes, they would get the technical sense of he was impeached, but they knew he would not get removed. They only had a year to go anyway, but while COVID was starting to really ramp up, where were they really? And you know what? If they weren't impeaching him, while they were impeaching him, if he would have come out and started saying stuff about COVID, what would have really happened? They would have called it a distraction from the impeachment trial.
Yeah.
It's just a fact to me. It's not even a question of what would have happened if in January President Trump came out and said,
it is what it is.
We need to do this.
It's just the truth.
They wouldn't have cared. They would have said he was covering up for his impeachment.
You know, it's so frustrating because I would have so much more respect for someone that goes, hey, man, you know what? When this first happened and Trump had a travel ban against China, I said it was racist. I thought, you know, with this guy's past, some things he said, some things I heard, I wouldn't put it past him. You know what? Got to give it up for him. He was right to shut that down. Hopefully that saved countless lives. We've learned from that. And when I'm in office, I'm going to do something different. And I think we need to do more than he's doing. At least you go, okay. But no, he comes out now and he's going to tell us all about how he was on it first. And this, no, what I remember is you calling him a fucking racist for shutting that down. And then I remember a week later, Nancy Pelosi dancing in the streets of Chinatown in San Francisco saying, come out and party with us in Chinatown to prove that we're not racist and xenophobic. That didn't happen. That absolutely happened.
This fucking breaking audio that Bernstein or whatever, was it Bernstein? It's not Woodward, right? It's Bernstein, or is it?
Bob Woodward.
Bob Woodward, okay. Woodward. Sorry, I forget which one of the two. But whatever.
You're not fit for office.
Audio he's holding, by the way. He's holding audio. Think of a president who is claiming, like, oh, it's deadly, we need it, blah, blah, blah. And he sits on this until August when he's releasing his fucking book. How do you have a sitting president where you believe that what he's saying is endangering lives, and you just sit on that audio?
Yeah, no, that's
fine. And then you release a book in August and go, oh, by the way, I have
more
audio
impact on the election.
I know why.
Proving how serious that really was. And to be honest with you, when I heard that story, I went, yeah. I think it would be irresponsible of a leader to come out and be like, man, y'all ain't going to believe this shit. This shit is going to kill everyone.
Good luck. Biden sat there
no, dude, that's not how you... when they talk about presidential reserve and calm, hey, we got this, don't worry, we got your backs, we're looking at this, like, I would expect, it reminded me of the Chappelle bit when he was dogging on the president going, man, you can't say that, you can't go to your kid and take a knee and be like, yo, man, we got bills stacked up a mile high, I don't know how we're gonna get through this shit, bro. You can't do that to a kid.
Right.
Like, you gotta have some, like, even when shit's falling apart, you gotta have some composure. Someone's gotta be the adult in the room. I would expect, whether it's Trump, Bush, Obama, Biden, anyone would have a level of reserve and wouldn't panic the nation. That just seems like
Biden
normal
said,
way operating business.
Biden said in the debate there that Americans don't panic. Did he see people buying toilet paper off the shelf? Assuming,
I know, right?
Based on the fact that we were already
mask shortage.
Like, yeah, and it's like, dude, we were being told by the president that it wasn't. You know, we were being told what we were being told, and look what we did with toilet paper.
Yeah.
And Biden's going to go, Americans don't panic.
Yeah.
We fucking sure as fuck do.
Another
Because we're
cliche,
humans.
another cliche about America. You know, Americans don't panic. These colors don't run. Like, it's all great in a catchphrase, but the fact is, when I was in Arizona, my brother bought a pallet of water. They literally delivered it on a pallet. This whole under table is stacked 4 feet high
Right.
with water. Like, yeah, dude.
still have
he
toilet
wasn't
paper
looking
that my
out
mom
for his
bought.
fucking neighbors. He's not looking out for his fucking the guy down the street who might be running low. It was like, motherfucker, I can get a pallet of
I can
water.
get mine.
Get
Get
me
it.
mine, motherfucker. Get
it.
me mine. Toilet paper, if you could find it, dude. You should see. G sent me a picture of this toilet paper he ordered from like China or something. China.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And they showed up.
China.
The toilet paper rolls were like this big around. I don't know where the camera is. This big around, like normal. There's no cardboard in it, so it's just the toilet paper wound up. Looks like a fucking tampon, and it's just one ply. The shittiest toilet paper you've ever seen. It's like we brought a case, like so desperate to get more toilet paper, bought a case of this garbage from China. You know what I mean? Like, give me 12 cases of it if
Any
you can.
port in a
Like,
storm.
You know.
Better than your sock.
Grocery stores are empty. Water, the shelves are empty.
When he said that, that's exactly what I just like, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah, what
people
world are
do
you living
panic.
in?
Humans do panic. You do need someone up there, not just going out like you said. It's all going to shit. Like, you don't need the president up there. We're all gonna fucking die. Shit. I'll be good though. I mean,
Yeah, no, it's politics 101. It's the game playing. I wish they could tamp it down on both sides.
Totally.
Because I think it'll be interesting because we'll be here, for the next couple weeks. It'll be interesting to see what happens on election night. I guarantee we don't have a president elected on election night.
I will tell you.
It would have to be an overwhelming, lopsided, and I don't see that happening. I just don't. So we're not going to know, but it's going to be interesting to see. Who are you more scared of? Trump's reelection or Biden getting elected?
are you talking about for the
Country? Yeah, like the next day, like
Trump?
you're worried if Trump gets elected?
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think the backlash is probably worse if Trump gets reelected.
Because you know what?
I
I
think
legit. Here's the thing about the
the
right, and
sonic
I'm not trying to.
boom that comes after that.
I'm not trying to say one side's better. I don't know how to explain it because I know that's what it sounds like. But here's the deal: there's some fucking idiot, MAGA, cult-like dudes that will be mad if Trump doesn't win, especially if they feel like it's in some way that's not. But I just don't feel that the majority of those people are going to be in Detroit the next day burning a building down.
No,
I'm
no,
certainly not as far. And you know what I've told somebody?
No.
I've almost told somebody. I told somebody I almost wish not really, but in a way, I would be okay if Trump lost the Electoral College but won the popular vote, only because then I would sit there and go, yep, that's our system. And I would walk away because that's our system. I would not burn the shit down because of that.
Well, we'll get to see, and I feel like you do, E, that if Donald Trump loses, you're not going to see people burning major cities. You're not going to see people in the streets crying at the heavens,
Yelling at the sky.
screaming at strangers. You did that, like that.
Jim Harbaugh's son
meltdown-
crying, wondering what's going to happen to him.
Yeah, yeah.
Is Jim Harbaugh's son still doing okay, I assume, right?
I hope I'm right in that belief that we don't have meltdown nation like that on the
Dad
right.
and cried and said, "What is going to happen? I'm gay."
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
God.
By the way,
It's-
also, dude, real quick on the debate, I will say, I did have a laugh out moment, to be honest with you, and that's when Trump sat there and said to Biden, he goes, "We can't all stay in our basement for 2 years."
Yeah.
I legitimately laughed out loud because I'm like, dude, it's fucking dead on.
Got
though.
him.
It was just dead on to me.
And it's true.
He's like, "Where'd you get that money, Joe?"
Yeah.
How do you have that much money to stay in your
This guy.
basement?
And you know what? Sorry, dude. You don't get to just go smear campaign. This is just a smear campaign. Experts said it's Russian propaganda. Did they, Joe? Did they? All you got to say, I don't know how Russian propaganda got a picture of your fucking cracked out son in bed, passed out with a crack pipe in his mouth. Don't know how they got that.
Photoshop, man.
Yeah, right? And you could, you know what? Fine.
Come on, man.
Fine. Come on, man. Fine. If that's the case and you come out and you go, this is an outrage. My son has
Explain
had
it, right.
my son has had a problem with drug abuse, and I thought it was a great answer. He said millions of families in this country know what that's like, and they're hurting, and I don't want to make light of it. It's sad, and he's gotten the help he needs, and we're all pulling for him. But that's bullshit. That picture doesn't exist. Someone made that picture and photoshopped it, which is easy to do nowadays, and that's not real. The problem is that picture is real.
Yeah.
And so
And
you
his
can't
answer
say
every
that.
time he's asked, like that one where it's a
Yeah.
CBS dude,
Smear
you would ask
campaign.
that question.
Yeah,
you
I'd
would.
expect that from you.
What does that mean?
You know, we should all expect that question.
Yeah.
We should all expect that question to be asked. And it's
How about you just
terrifying.
answer it one time, like really in a real way, and then it would be done.
Yeah.
in a
Well,
real way.
Yeah, it's a shitty thing, and it's really sad to me seeing, you know, and we've seen it crumbling for a long time now. But the state of the media, you know, we could get into Section 230 of the, you know, whatever act, the Decency Act with media and websites, and why this is playing out. Maybe we can do it tomorrow or something. Why this is playing out the way it is and what people are getting away with. This is the whole debate over publishing versus platform, and we're seeing it play out to catastrophic disharmony and problems that I think like the likes of which we've never seen. And it's terrifying to me when you can have one of the oldest publications in the country, one of, you know, New York Post is kind of a tabloidy fun paper. It's not the New York Times, it's the Post, but it's Andrew Jackson's paper. I mean, did he start it back in the day? Like it goes Hamilton. Was it Hamilton that started the Post? Something like that.
I don't know. I didn't watch the play.
Yeah. It goes way the fuck back, though. It's one of our oldest publications. And for them, you can imagine, if you play it out a little further, you can imagine what chance someone like this show has on a platform to host something that might not be a popular take on something, an idea. If the New York Post can be stripped of its voice, imagine what it can do to your favorite podcast or your favorite local paper or anything like that. That, to me, is terrifying. And for Leslie Stahl to look so fucking ignorant, sir, that it's just not true. We can't verify that. We can't. Yeah, you can. It's been verified. We know there are, for all the stories the media has run with almost no sourcing, and a lot of times no sourcing, flat out rumor, stolen information. This idea that, you know, Melania Trump's phone calls were stolen, that those were not meant for public consumption by their standards at Facebook and Twitter today. Those would not be able to fly. Those fly all the time. 90% of the Russia stories were rumor mill stories. They just were.
It's all fun and games when it's going your way.
When it's going your way.
What the scary part is that, you know,
I hope it.
What happens when it's not? You know, when it's going against you, right?
I
Then
hope
it's
it
not,
backfires, though.
I do too.
I hope enough people are
terrifying.
understanding
that level of censorship.
It's horrifying, and I think, you know, some part of that, you know, Section 230 in the Decency Act, which you know, kind of gets in the weeds. First Amendment protections exist the way they do. You know, where, you know, the government will not prosecute you for, you know, what you say, blah, blah, blah. The truth will set you free. All of those things still exist. But the Section 230 of that was really meant, and just like everything, all fucking, you know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? So you got good intentions, but, you know, it ends up, of course, give an inch, take a mile. It gets perverted and twisted. And that, you know, a lot of people, when you think of the Section 230, that statute, it's basically meant to stop, like if we post a story here and on a website or whatever, and people start commenting on it. And back in the day, you'd get a ton of porn spam. Remember all the porn spam and commercials and shit like that? It was like, hey, we're not stifling free speech when we clean this garbage up so that the flow of debate can happen. People can have their opinion and whatnot, but we need to be able to clean this stuff up without being judged now as not just a platform, but a publisher. We're not interrupting the discourse. We're just getting some of the shit out of here, which is offensive to a lot of people. It's porn, spam porn, all that. And so that little caveat was put in there to protect, so you could clean that stuff up without getting that attack and being held liable. They censored me. They went against my First Amendment rights by censoring me when they took this down. No, you can take that down. Well, that gets perverted. Now, I could just go, well, the Biden story's not verified. That's a lie, so we need to take that down because it's bad for the country. Like, whoa, motherfucker, you just took this to a whole new level, and now you're just flat out censoring. Well, we've got a committee that is censoring things and blah, blah. Well, I don't know who the fuck your committee is, and fuck your committee anyways. You know, you want to take down 500 fucking porn spam emails in a row that have littered up this conversation here? I don't have a problem with that, but you know, it gets dicey. It's a hard thing to deal with. I don't know how they deal with it, but you know, the head of Google, Punchin, whatever, Sandeep Punchin or whatever, India dude, and Twitter's Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg, those people are going to go and have Senate hearings on this and try to explain it. I don't have a lot of confidence that a bunch of crotchety old white guys are going to ask them the proper questions. They don't seem to know how the internet works to begin with. That's typically how this plays out. They get up there and ask retarded questions.
And so how do, when one makes a status, do people all see that? What is the wall exactly?
They've proven themselves not worthy opponents
Incapable.
to really have that discussion. But we're all seeing it, and the people that see it, that don't see it, they just don't want to see it and acknowledge it. But the people that there is absolutely shadow banning happens. And it happens a lot more on the right. There's more conservative, you know, shit not trending like it should, shit being, you know, shadow banning. Like that stuff is happening more to people on the right because it goes against the political views of the left. It's just, it is what it is. There's not a big interest in changing that from the powerful that run those companies. I understand why they wouldn't want to change it.
It's in their interest.
But there's going to be a problem if we don't get some level of something here. I don't know what that looks like because, again, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and even with this good intention, to fix that is going to lead to a road of shit that you didn't see coming.
Nope.
That's the fear, and that's why free speech needs to just be what it is. You know, it gets tricky when you're talking about porn, sex trafficking, child indecency, like all those things get thrown up and tried to be protected under the free speech. Hey, it's my free speech. I can say whatever I want. You know, I understand why there's a battle there to protect, you know, we can't have, I can't just let this go on my platform of, you know, this is, you know, underhanded sex trafficking going on because free speech, you know, so I don't know how it plays out, but they're going to have to change something. But anyway, we could go on forever.
Yeah.
It's getting late. Why don't we wrap it up? We did 220. That's not bad for us, right?
Shit.
Sure.
That's a number.
I wanted to do
you know
another
what,
show. I'll hold it.
I've had to pee for the last like 40, so I'm there
Dude,
doing the
it's
dance.
a podcast. You can get up and walk out
I
and
know.
piss.
I never even got to my story about why I was meditating. We got into meditation, and I was going to get into that whole thing.
You want to save it for tomorrow?
Sure.
Okay.
It's not that big of a deal.
Well, I mean, we could do a couple stories too. I mean, I don't care.
I'll just a real short story because I brought it up at the beginning. So I went down, sat down to the meditation, and I'd already had the lost keys right the day before. I fucking sit down. I feel this like prick behind me. I'm like, what the fuck's that? I reach out my arm to grab it, and it turns out it is fucking, for some reason, in this weirdest area you could imagine, there is the rustiest barbed wire sticking out of the fucking ground. And it clips me on the hand, and I just think to myself, well, fuck,
Tetanus.
I don't know, dude. That's rusty.
Tetanus?
And
You're thinking
I don't know. I haven't had my booster in like 20 years. I hate shots. And I didn't know what to fucking do. And I'm staring at my fucking hand. Is that deep enough? I don't know. And this and that. And I ended up going and getting a booster shot at a fucking thing. But my point was going to be, like, as I was driving back from that, I'm like, you know, I fucking had this key thing. And I even, like, learned a lesson from it. I remember going out of, like, oh, I kind of learned this lesson of, like, things happen for a reason. And that worked out. And then I got this. And I was just like, fuck, man. Really? A fucking barbed wire? I mean, dude, Mike, if I could show you the picture of the area I was at, it was in the most, I can't even understand why it was there. And anyway, so I ended up getting this booster. I hate.
So so that makes you meditate now?
No.
Is that what
I was just
talking
I was getting into meditate. The point was I was sitting down to meditate. Then you started making fun of me for meditation. I never got to tell my shot story.
Oh, sorry.
Is that technically a booster shot? Is that what you got?
I didn't get the tetanus shot. I got
tetanus
the booster. No, I got the booster because it wasn't. He determined that it wasn't
gotcha.
deep enough.
Like
that
it's a scratch. Fuck up.
Deep, really? Is that a thing? I would have thought you get. How deep does it need to go?
It wasn't.
I think it gets in your bloodstream.
It wasn't like technically. It was weird because if
Didn't
you
even
look at it
break
right
the
now,
skin.
like
He's a
no,
big
it,
pussy.
well, if you look at it, you can
You got
see
one of those
it, like,
white scratches that.
It was
like
no,
dry
it was like
skin?
it was weird because I was like there was like red. It was like a little blood had came out, but it wasn't bleeding anymore. You know what I'm saying? So like if I roped it away and it was just red. So like it did
Like
puncture
blood
enough.
red?
Well, no, like it punctured enough that you could see like it was punctured, but it wasn't like gushing out.
It wasn't like Jesus being nailed to the cross.
Right,
blood,
and so
but-
I just didn't know. I sat there for like a half hour staring at it. Then I like Googled how deep does a cut need to be to get worried about tetanus shots, and it was just, to me, it was just one of these weird things where I was just like, fuck, man, I'm trying to be a good person. I do things I feel like, and it's just like, can I just get a fucking break? I'm on this vacation, I lose my keys, and then I sit down in this fucking rusty ass barbed wire out of nowhere. It was just kind of disheartening, to be honest with you.
It's a tough life you're leading, E.
I know.
Yeah.
It
It really
is.
is, man.
On my third vacation of the summer.
Who's to say what's good or bad?
I took away from it that I need to stop putting things off.
All right. Well, let's shut it down there. Thank you, T, for being here.
pleasure.
Isis, always. Trav, thank you for coming over. I know you've already worked a full day, most of you guys, so appreciate it. The plan is to be here for a couple weeks, while I continue getting healthy. I'll give you more details. I mean, there's not a ton of details, but I can get into it more. But we've gone 222, so we'll wrap it up there. But if you guys want to do one tomorrow,
Oh, yeah, sure.
Check my schedule.
yeah, sure. Yeah, I guess if I have to, we don't have to.
No, I'm fine. I have nothing.
I figured we'd do a couple shows this week.
I have nothing going on tomorrow.
Okay, Trav, you good?
No vacations planned.
Okay,
All in favor, say aye.
say aye. Come on.
Aye.
The ayes have it. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.
I don't even know if this is the whole thing or not. Honestly, I forget.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.